For your Monday, look for mostly sunny skies, temperatures right around 100 degrees. Very slight chance of seeing a few isolated showers today with breezy conditions. That's going to last into this evening with those overnight lows right around 72. For the Fox 10 Weather Experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Monterey County, California and the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Find your way to ocean-sized wonder in Monterey County, California, like coming face-to-face with sea otters, turtles, and stingrays at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. See Monterey.com/aquarium. Find your way here. That's cmonterey.com/aquarium.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch.
You are live.
Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
Kyle Murray and the Cardinals crush the Rams in the NFC West clash. They finally get a win against the Los Angeles Rams. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B out here at Casino, Arizona. If you listen to this program, we have been promoting for the last couple weeks that we were going to be a talking stick today, but that is not the case. We are at Casino, Arizona, 101 of McKelb's for the Monday night tailgate where someone's going to have an opportunity to win $9,100. You roll the dice, 20 lucky contestants will have that opportunity. Also, if you roll Roc and Manuch at Jimmy B, a big screen TV, so it's a lot of fun. Hopefully you'll be able to come out here and join us as the Falcons and the Eagles tonight here at Casino, Arizona, 101 of McKelb's for what we used to call showroom football. But hey, Kyler Murray, I want to get into something with you right out of the gate, Manuch.
All right.
I want you to define something for me.
Okay. Oh, I know. I think I know where you're going.
Because Kyler Murray had a perfect passer rating.
Yes.
However, he was 17 to 22. He wasn't perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He missed 4.
Right.
So I know this has been around. This passer rating has been around since 1973 when you were in the league. And it's a formula based on 4 key statistics. But I don't think there's one talking head. And even you can explain what it is. And on Thursday at 3:30, Howard Balzer, who I'm going to tell you here in a moment, he knows this passer rating better than anybody because you've heard on all the TV shows that the max is a 158.3. However, he had a 170.6, according to Howard Balzer.
That's right.
How do you know?
Because I read his article.
Good.
Which he sent to me.
He just sends you articles?
Yes. Because I'm a cool dude, so he sends me the stuff. Yeah.
So explain to me how it's perfect if he missed 4 passes.
If he has 4 passes.
Perfect.
It's whatever the theorems and ratios they have.
The formula, right?
The formula. All the above. The only thing is it's efficiency, effectiveness, completion ratio, touchdown interception ratio. As far as how much he's been thrown down the field, it's a combination is what I understand.
See,
when you add those, you put them in a blender,
exactly,
and it's a perfect rating. I
know, but you're the quarterback. You're the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah,
you're the one.
It's not my job, obviously.
You need to know that. So according to Howard Balzer, it's based on 4 key statistics. Yep. Completion percentage. Mm-hmm. That's the percentage of passes completed out of the total passes attempt.
Right. He had over 80 or 80%.
Yep. Did 81% there. Yards per attempt, the average number of yards gained per pass attempt. Okay. That was pretty good as well.
12.7.
Yep. And then there's touchdown percentage, and that was 14.3. And then it's interception percentage, which was obviously 0. So then you put it in the blender, as you mentioned, and then you come out with a range between 0 and 158.3. However, Howard is making a point that isn't the number. It's really actually higher at 170.6 rating, or I saw 180 and some change. So
the official stats
why
show.
Can you call something perfect when it's not perfect?
You know what? That's a great question. I mean, the most perfect game I think I've ever seen in a big-time game was Phil Simms, 22 for 26 in the Super Bowl against Denver Broncos. That was one of the best perfect passer ratings. He had like 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions. His yards per average, as we talk about, was one of the highest. It was one of the greatest games I think I've ever seen. I think Steve Young's had a couple of those. Kurt Warner's had a couple of perfect games over his career. And the whole ratio thing, I get it that they've got a measurement, but I've never known what the ceiling was and then what the floor was and halfway in between, because they've got 158.3. Howard has over 170. So what he's saying is, look, this is the most close thing to a perfect game a quarterback can come to because of those 4 dimensions you added. The 3 touchdown passes, the no interceptions, yards per average, over 12 yards per average, 17 for 20, only 4 incompletions. And from that standpoint, I guess they're going to give credit. They're grading on the curve, which they are, in reference to a quarterback to have a perfect passer rating.
Okay. It's
that's
really,
how I understand. That's how I look at this, understand it from a quarterback's perspective.
I think they should have come up with something better, and it's just top passer rating, not perfect, because perfect is no incompletes, right? Unless we're going to get really detailed and say it was those 4 were drop passes.
Yeah, and
then we have to determine, was it the receiver's fault or was it the quarterback's fault?
I think in the National Football League with quarterbacks can't complete everything, that they've got a ratio that, okay, if a guy only misses on 4 balls or it's 5, let's say he's 25 of 30, 4 touchdown passes, no picks, and his average is over 10.5, 11 yards, then they're going, all right, that's pretty damn close. That's damn near perfect. They're going, all right, we're going to give it a perfect rating because of the flux or wiggle room you're going to have.
It's the formula.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And, for him, I mean, his rating, his QBR was 98.2.
But you can't even tell me how to get that.
All I know is
That's
good
the whole
game.
Point.
That's a damn good game.
That is where I'm going with this. It's like they come up with these notes. The PR guy gives the radio guy, the TV guy, these notes, and then you see it on these broadcasts, and it's like, but not one person can define those.
Yeah. What I always look at a guy
is like in other sports where stats are important, like baseball.
Sure.
You know what a runs back, an RBI is.
Yeah,
right? You know what that is. Yep. You know what an ERA is.
Yeah.
It's black and white.
Yeah, it is.
But this with quarterbacks, it's
a little
odd to me.
Little gray area.
Yeah, gray.
It's
That's
a little
exactly
gray area.
What it is.
A little wiggle room in there. But I mean, I've always looked at guys as far as completion percentage. I've looked at the same things when a quarterback's having a good game. Okay. Completion yards per average, completion percentage, touchdown passes, ratio to interceptions.
Maybe
all
throw in his rushing yards. Kyler had
throw
a bunch
that in.
Of those,
I don't think that's a part of it.
It's not, but maybe that should be.
And he had 1 sack. That was 1 sack. But there might be some other ancillary things that surrounds it. But those 4 are distinct. Those that tell you, I think, who was it last year had a perfect game was just money. There's a couple last year. It's rare.
Yeah.
It's rare. So I think that they're going, hey, if it's within this range, and we don't know the range of misses.
And then there's Marvin Harrison. Of course, it was somewhat of a dud week 1. We can say that. Just 1 catch and 4 yards. Comes out really hot. 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, targeted 5 times in the first quarter. But Next Gen Stats comes out and said Harrison's max speed was 20 miles an hour, which was also an area of concern after he reached a max speed of just 16.7 miles an hour in week 1. So it's interesting how all these different types of stats come out. Like speed and all that. I don't know where that plays in on any of this.
And I like to know
can't help you with fantasy.
Who's tracking him? It's almost like the exit velocity in baseball. I mean, they're tracking that ball, leaving the bat.
Why do we care? It left the yard.
Exactly. And then for this one, I think the one where they tracked it must have been on the waggle. We came across the field and he gave it to him, and he just hit another gear before he dove into the end zone. That's the only thing I can think of, because we've seen guys, these sprint stars. Their max when they're running, 10 flats, they're running around, 25 miles an hour, whatever. I mean, yeah, he found that extra gear. I think for fans, they go, wow, he was running 20 miles an hour on that touchdown catch when he stretched out. He gets damn fast. So I think it's just for marketing. It's just for show. But,
but as we look at this game, though, I mean, we can always every Monday we can talk about what we expect from the offense, and we did see what we've been wanting to expect, right? Harrison Jr. was going to have a big game. Kyler was going to have a big game. But when the defense has 5 sacks and holds that Williams kid to, 25 yards, 8 players with total 12 tackles for loss, 9 quarterback hits, the defense deserves a game ball.
And I would agree with that. I think the other thing is they stopped them, 3 4th down tries. They stopped them on. That first one at the beginning of the game was huge. 3rd down and 2, they stuffed them. And then the last one, that little bubble screen out to Cooper Kupp, Buda Baker, he's been
He
coming
was
out
everywhere.
He was everywhere.
He had a good game.
And that was our game plan. They were going to, wreak havoc on this makeshift offensive line. One guy literally off the streets, never played left tackle, McLaughlin.
Exactly.
They put him out there. So I think that
They had nobody, Manuch. Let's just slow down just a little bit. You're playing against a Rams team that had nobody.
Yeah, they're banged up.
And they are so banged up. It was a mash unit out on the field. Look,
but you got to take it when you can, right?
I was just going to say that.
Yep, I was
you
just
took
going to
advantage
say,
of it and you won the game.
Yes, that's exactly what you do. And you beat them up and you buried them, which is what you would expect playing a team that has lost the majority of its players.
7 guys on the injured reserve list the first 2 weeks. That's a league high.
2.
And you heard the stats today. Teams that go 0-2, less than 10% are going to get to the playoffs over the last few years. There have been 3 teams that were 0-2 that got to a Super Bowl, things like that. I'm not going to say the Rams are out yet. Not at all. If they can get their guys back, I think there's still going to be someone to look at.
Yeah, and your point, Jimmy, the Cardinals did what they should have done, take care of business.
Yes,
I
agree with that.
This is one of those on the schedule you said, okay, they may win this one.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
I also thought, I thought Detroit was going to be better. So I'm very curious to see how this game's going to turn out on Sunday.
Well, I think the thing you think about is they were very tough for a half against the Bills. The Bills went down to Miami and crushed the Dolphins.
They did.
So you give the Cardinals some credit, at least for a half. They got out coached. But this game is banged up as the Rams were, and then Cooper Kupp goes out at halftime. You go, okay, let's just bring the house. And they brought the house. They stuffed the run.
Yep.
But the other side of it, what created a lot of the success I felt in the passing game for Kyler Murray was how effective the Cardinals ran the ball again, where James Conner had another big game, play action passing. And one of the things that, as far as the growth of Kyler Murray, was Kyler Murray is now, when he scrambles, he's looking up the field to throw to guys. The couple passes, the bootleg to find his receiver coming across, MHJ coming across. And then I think one that really spells it, besides his Keystone Cops touchdown pass, he did like 4 or 5 seconds of rolling out to his left and finding Higgins in the back of the end zone, was the one where he had to scramble left, and you saw Marvin Harrison Jr. come back and realize he was scrambling. So the old scramble where he broke up the field, instead of running out of bounds, he kept his eyes up the field and found him for another big game. So I see the growth, hopefully consistent growth in Kyler Murray, and keeping his eyes up the field and throwing the ball down the field.
Our State 48 Roofing Get Your Call question of the day. After the Cards win over the Rams, they can now be considered a legitimate threat to win the NFC West. Your choices are yes, impressive versus the Rams. No, Rams were banged up. Or 3, still too early to tell. I went with that one. But I know some people are voting on yes, and that's good. I mean, the town needs this. This is a definite win that this Cardinal team definitely needed. We're out here at Casino Arizona in the showroom for tonight's Falcons-Eagles game. You have a chance to win $9,100 tonight. 20 people get selected to roll the dice, their chance to win the grand prize, which is $9,100. We'll have that at halftime. But coming up next, top 5 plays and sounds from the weekend. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B right here on Fox Sports 910.
Looking for the #1 neighborhood sports bar? It's clearly Philly Sports Grill, dedicated to providing impeccable service and a mouth-watering menu of delicious food and drinks. Whether you're cheering for your favorite team or catching the big game, Philly Sports Grill is your ultimate destination. With 4 convenient locations throughout Phoenix and Tempe, you'll get the best sports bar experience. Experience the excitement at Philly Sports Grill today. For a location near you, head to phillysportsgrill.com.
Tune in Thursdays at 1:30 p.m. for the Crest Insurance Group Sun Devil Report with Coach Charlie Rago. Crest Insurance. Coverage you can trust, service you can count on. Every Thursday on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Looking for a place where everyone is welcome? Come to Azul Bar and Grill in Phoenix. Not your typical sports bar, Azul is the ultimate hangout spot for friends and families alike. Enjoy live music, catch your favorite games, play some fun games, and savor delicious food in a vibrant atmosphere. Visit us at 3134 West Carefree Highway in the Tremonto Plaza. Don't miss out on our daily events and specials at azulgrill.com. Azul Bar and Grill, a great time, but a better time with you.
Life's a sprint. Meet G2G protein bars. Grab and go fuel for the office, links, and daily grind. Score an 8-pack at Costco or explore flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, power-packed G2G protein bars. Setting your pace.
Ready for some football? Join our annual Pro Football Pick'em contest today. You could win $5,000 and amazing prizes from Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. Don't miss out on the excitement. Head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com.
Attention all football fans. Old Spice Swagger Deodorant 4-pack is back at Costco. Get ready to unleash the greatest smell in the NFL. Old Spice Swagger is the ultimate 24/7 odor protection for all the football fanatics out there when used daily. But here's the catch, folks. This limited time offer won't last forever, so head to Costco and grab your 4-pack of Swagger Deodorant. Don't let those game moments be overshadowed by unwanted odors. Get your Old Spice Swagger Deodorant now.
Peter, Hothead, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, live from the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Dive into parlays, futures, and prop bets on all your favorite sports. Catch every moment on one of our 46 stunning 4K screens. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, your sports fans' paradise. Let's get to today's Lifted High Garage Door.
Your life?
Top players from the weekend on Fox Sports 910. The guys give you their top performers who lifted their team to victory. Now, guys, who are your Lifted High Garage Door top players from the weekend?
Well, I'll start out with our first one. I think the folks that can get the bus started as Justin Jefferson. Here he is scoring a 97-yard touchdown second quarter as Minnesota gets a win yesterday.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The countdown is on. The number
5.
Second down 9. Darnold getting messy, going deep, and he's got Jefferson. He's got Jefferson. It's a foot race downfield with Brown. Shifting gears. Getting a block. That's 6. 97 yards. Holy smokes.
All right, there you have it. That is Justin Jefferson. He cut it there, as that was a little longer than I anticipated. But you got to like when the announcers let the crowd get involved.
Well, that's the TV call, so that's why.
How about Sam Darnold, 2-0, leaving the Niners and beating his old team, and Brock is 0-2 versus San Francisco right now. But how about I forget who the receiver was that caught up to Jefferson to kind of block.
No, it wasn't the receiver. It was the referee.
No, well, I know the referee.
How fast that guy was.
That ref's got wheels.
And then the other receiver
was the badass.
The other receiver came out of nowhere. I forget who the receiver was. I went, damn, they got some wheels to get down there. But Sam Darnold stepping up in the pocket, airing it out there about 60 yards, starting to show his talent, starting to see the Sam Darnold that was.
A game that I don't think anybody saw. I think a lot of people lost their survivor on this one. And this, of course, is New Orleans and the Cowboys in Kamara with his 4 touchdowns.
The number
4.
Here's Kamara running right side. Wow! Surges in for the touchdown.
Try to gain it here on second down.
Pressure coming. They set up a screen. Oh, there's a lot of room. Alvin Kamara, room to roll. Alvin Kamara's going to score. Touchdown. Kamara, big hole, left side. Alvin Kamara sprinting towards the end zone. He is in. Touchdown, New Orleans. Kamara looking for his 4th touchdown of the game. Stays on his feet. Alvin Kamara's got 4.
How about that? Credit Fox on that one. New Orleans with a blowout win. And I hope I have the stat that I saw this morning. when you look at
Derek Carr
and just New Orleans in general,
Yeah.
the fact that they have scored on every series that he's been the leader of.
I think he's a little bound and determined. I mean, his little moonwalk in the end zone, little Michael Jackson. I think he's a little fired up this year.
Love
for the
it.
Saints.
Yeah, Manuch, let me ask you this question then concerning Derek Carr, Mr. Quarterback Boy. So what is the difference? He has a brand new offensive coordinator. Is it the offensive coordinator and the way that they construct their plays? Does that OC make that much
It's
difference?
the Denver head coach,
It is.
son.
Yeah. And the thing is this, is that they're adhering their
What's his name?
offense.
It's Kubiak. He's also a part of the whole Redskins coaching staff back when it was Shanahan and McFleur or LaFleur. Like, that whole staff is loaded.
Yeah,
So he'll be a head coach next
I
year.
think what it is that they're adhering to what his strengths are.
Okay.
I think they're instead of putting a square peg in a round hole, that this offensive coordinator is going, okay, this is what Derek Carr does best. Obviously, got a hell of a running game with Kamara, and I think it helps. Hell, he only threw 16 times, and it is effective throwing, 11 for 16, very effective as far as throwing the ball. But I think they're doing a great job of the schemes fit him and fit the talent versus a lot of offensive coordinators want to do it their way.
Yeah.
So
They
here
just don't have it.
Here are the Saints. Here's what happened on all 14 of Derek Carr's drives this season. Touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, 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 touchdown.
And I don't think there's a defense that he has.
That's great.
He's got an
It is
offense.
great.
He's got an offensive line that can protect, and there's a
Yes.
defense that he has not seen. When you get protection, you got decent receivers, but you got a hell of a running game. There's a lot you can do.
And what's better? It was the Cowboys.
I know.
Yeah,
It shuts everybody up for a little while.
my defense and fantasy was the Cowboys.
America's team.
in Dallas.
All right,
in Dallas.
The next three, as we give you our top 5 sounds of the weekend, and this is Kyler Murray on his scramble for a first down in the third quarter, which was just amazing.
The number
3.
Scheme typically for Arkansas football over the years. Here's Murray climbing the pocket, getting away. He's got some space. Ooh, nearly took a huge hit from Cam Curl. Ducked down to the 32-yard line, a 27-yard.
Talk about sliding just in time.
The key
Cam
word there.
Carroll was coming. He was beelining for him,
The
man.
key word was nearly. He saw it coming and he got the hell down.
Yeah, he slides. He's an ex-baseball player. He slid pretty good. Got his butt down. He knows he's sliding, not going head first.
You know, if you're not a fan of Kyler Murray and your team is playing against him, he's annoying as hell. You can't. He's just. Can you not get that little guy?
Well, they had him dead to rights 3 or 4 times.
They did.
Tackle
He's
him.
just so fast.
Well, he's strong. He's got strong legs
Yeah.
to get out of it. He's been very quick. So now I think we're starting to see the Kyler Murray of old as far as running the ball before he hurt that knee.
I'm not going to go there, but you just block for him. All right, guys. All right. Here's Marvin Harrison's first NFL touchdown.
The number
2.
For the first half last season. Back to battle, launches, end zone, Harrison! Caught! First NFL touchdown for Marvin Harrison Jr. An impressive grab.
And to keep both feet in bounds, I mean, he's used to just 1 foot in college. So if you tell he's working, and my first thought was, did he have control of the ball when he hit the ground? But they reviewed it quickly.
And
So
he
he was
did.
good. But I mean, that's hard. What a lot of rookie receivers have a hard time doing is knowing you got to keep both feet in bounds now. And he did a hell of a job. He barely got that other toe down, had control, hell of a throw, hell of a catch. First one for the young Rook. Congratulations.
He's not done.
Nope. Here's his second of the game. That first one made it 7-0. This made it 14-0. A 60-yard TD reception.
The number
1.
Fake to Connor. Murray on the rollout, looking deep for Harrison! Marvin Harrison Jr. to the end zone! Touchdown again!
So on that route, it's a crossing route. As he waggles
3.
or bootlegs out to his right side, he's supposed to come out underneath. Well, that safety took that away from him. So he was smart to recognize he went up the field. And Murray, I was keeping his eyes up the
Eyes
field,
up. Yep.
saw him break up the field. Nice little touch pass. So good read by both of them, especially for the rookie to go, okay, I can't get there. By now, just take it over the top for the touchdown.
So there you have it, our sounds of the weekend. All those Cardinal sounds are courtesy of Fox Television. On this day, as we do each and every day, this was a big one. I think this was one that we talked about him quite a bit on our show. 2018, Patrick Mahomes. He's 23 of 28, 326 yards, 6 touchdown passes as Kansas City beats Pittsburgh 42-37. And in his 10 touchdown passes through the first 2 weeks were the most by any quarterback through 2 games in NFL history. And then 2007, go back a little farther, former Cardinal, but Bengal at this time, passes for 6 touchdowns as well. And Browns, Derek Anderson, also a former Cardinal, has 5 in the Cleveland's 51-45 win over Cincinnati, making it just the 3rd time in NFL history that 2 quarterbacks threw 5 touchdowns apiece or more in the same game.
Derek Anderson, a lot of guys can do it at other places, but just couldn't do it here.
Yeah.
Carson Palmer did.
Well, Carson did, exactly.
He had a hell of a career here.
But I remember we talked about Rock with Patrick Mahomes in that 2018. I think he was starting to go back-to-back weeks with a perfect quarterback rating. That one that Rock talked about was a perfect quarterback rating. Would have been the first quarterback in 73.
And finally on this day, has nothing to do with sports, but 45 years ago today, 1979, rap music exploded on the scene. And of course, it was all because of the release of this song, Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight.
Next on the mic is my man Hank. Come on, Hank, sing that song. Check it out. I'm the CAZ.
So I bet, Jimmy, you jammed this, didn't you?
Damn right I did. I still know half of the song, probably.
Were you spinning the tunes as Disco Mike?
No, I was on TV.
When I DJ.
Mike
Rock.
Rocco, yeah.
No, it was Mixmaster Mike.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Mixmaster Mike.
Yeah.
And I used to
My
be
bad.
I used to be able to, I had 2 turntables with Mike, and I was able to kind of get, like, this song would go into, like, White Lines and Nucleus, jam on it, and like all these different.
Damn,
that was the day.
You were good
back then.
So you were the king of the segue.
I was wannabe.
Yeah.
I was the wannabe. I made good mixtapes.
There you go. That's
good
great.
mixtapes.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes,
Hotel,
absolutely.
Motel, Holiday Inn.
Yep.
If your girl won't go with you, then you take her friend.
There you go. So there you have it. Hey, the sounds are brought to you by, or on this day, is brought to you by our Twin Peaks fantastic tailgating sweepstakes. Gang, we have really kicked some ass with this promotion thanks to Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. It's a season-long promotion. All you got to do is text PEAKS to 59925. You do it every day for your chance to win this. One prize, and it's a big one. A Traeger grill, a Blackstone griddle, a pizza oven, a cornhole set, a portable beer pong table, an outdoor projector with an inflatable screen. How about multiple cases of Cocoa 5 and the popular Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B logoed Wild Gear tumblers and a cooler. No purchase necessary. Text PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply as always, and make this football season unforgettable one at Twin Peaks. Coming up, we'll catch up with former Sun Devil and NFL quarterback Rudy Carpenter, get his thoughts on what he saw yesterday against the Rams, and we'll take you back to Friday night with the Devils, who are now 3-0. So we'll get into that next. We're out here at Casino Arizona in the Sportsbook for tonight's Monday night game between the Falcons and the Eagles. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
What's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix?
Former U of A quarterback Nick Foles will retire as a member of the Eagles in tonight's game against the Falcons. Foles guided Philadelphia to a win over the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. It's back to work for the Cardinals, who are moving on from yesterday's win against the Rams to now focus on the Lions for Week 3. Practice begins Wednesday. The Diamondbacks begin a 7-game road trip tonight against the Rockies. Merrill Kelly on the mound. Arizona in the NL's second wild card spot at 83-66. The Mercury beat Chicago yesterday. They'll start the final week of the WNBA regular season tomorrow against the LA Sparks. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Looking for the ultimate spot to watch football with fellow Ohioans in Phoenix? It's Upper Crust Pizza and Wine Bar. Enjoy great pizza, cold drinks, and cheer them on all season long at Upper Crust. Located at the 101 and Cave Creek Road.
Don't miss a minute of the action when Sun Devil football returns to Mountain America Stadium Saturday, October 5th, when they take on Big 12 rival Kansas.
Swoboda throws, intercepted by Fiaseu. Cyrus Fiaseu is going to take it all the way in for an Arizona State touchdown. A pick six
for San Diego State transfer Cyrus Fiaseu. Get your tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Crest Insurance is about more than providing coverage. It's about creating your safety net. We offer access to a national network of trusted carriers. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, we're here to help with a personal touch that's close to home. With Crest, you're not only protecting what matters most, but also helping to build stronger, more resilient communities. Crest Insurance, coverage you can trust, service you can count on.
It's Rock for Wright Toyota. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, check out Wright Toyota and WrightToyota.com. We broadcast there every Friday from 1 to 4, so stop by, say hello. Right on the price, right on the selection, WrightToyota.com.
Kick off the football season with Twin Peaks, Roc, Manuch, Jimmy B, and Fox Sports 910 for our fantastic tailgating sweepstakes. Text PEAKS to 59925 for your chance to win a Traeger grill, Blackstone griddle, and more. No purchase necessary. Details at rockandmanuch.com.
Wow, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say,
Rudy's ready.
Minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Yes, Rudy's ready.
Sarah Spain with iHeart Women's Sports, presented by Capital One. Las Vegas Aces forward Asia Wilson became the first player in WNBA history to hit the 1,000-point mark for a season on Sunday in the Aces' 84-71 win over the Connecticut Sun. She's the runaway favorite for MVP, averaging a league-best 27 points, the highest season scoring average in W history. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts.
With the Venture X business card from Capital One, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/VentureXBusiness.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, live from the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Dive into parlays, futures, and prop bets on all your favorite sports. Catch every moment on one of our 46 stunning 4K screens. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, your sports fans' paradise. Here to talk football is former Sun Devil quarterback, who, by the way, went 3-1 against that team in Tucson.
Carpenter going to go up with time, steps up, looks end zone, got a man, McGahey, touchdown! Rudy Carpenter threw that right into the teeth, into the strength of the Wildcat defense.
Rudy Carpenter, now on Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910 on FM at 99.
For Arkansas football over the years. Here's Murray climbing the pocket.
Your life?
He's got some space. Ooh, nearly took a huge hit from Cam Curl. Ducked down to the 32-yard line. A 27-yard.
That was Kyler Murray, scramble in the third quarter for a first down when the score was 24-3, thanks to Fox. Rudy Carpenter now on the right to a guest line. So, what you think? Give us your take, Rudy, on Kyler and his performance yesterday. Near perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest with you, I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Probably the only way to describe it. I'm happy for Kyler because a lot of people, including myself, have maybe been down on him a little bit or have maybe questioned how good he really is. I mean, I think for me, I've more questioned how good this roster really is. But I think yesterday Kyler showed that he's when he's on and when he plays like that, he's a top 5, top 10 player in the NFL. And there's a reason why a couple years ago, the first half of the season, he was the leading candidate for the MVP award, right? So Kyler has shown us, the fan base here in Arizona, that, when he's playing and playing well, he's one of the very best young players in the NFL.
Really, one of the things that stood out for me watching him yesterday, and we always preach about when the quarterbacks move, keep your eyes up, try to find somebody down the field before you run. That's hard for a guy like a Kyler Murray, somebody's got a lot of talent. It took Michael Vick a while. I don't know if he ever actually got it. But the throws, keeping his eyes up the field, on the bootleg, eyes up the field to Harrison for the 1 touchdown. But the one thing that kind of showed him he's really growing at the position was the scramble. He scrambled left, scramble drill. Harrison was coming back to the outside. Then he went back up the field, recognized the scramble drill, and he saw him, that being Murray, throw the ball down the field instead of taking off down the left sideline.
Well, I mean, yeah, in my viewpoint, I've always actually felt like Kyler's done a good job of keeping his eyes up and trying to make throws while scrambling or while running around. I mean, what I would call it is remaining a passer. I think that Kyler throughout his career, even in college, has always done a good job of remaining a passer while he's moving around and running around. Where I personally think that he's struggled throughout his career is when he's running around or when he's scrambling and he's trying to make a play, is his ability that, like, he just never gives up on a play. And because of that, he's reluctant to throw the ball away. He's reluctant just to get what he can and get down. And because he's trying to play hero ball on every single play, a lot of times he ends up taking negative plays and he ends up taking big, big losses on negative plays. And that puts you, behind the chains and in really bad situations. And I think, the last couple of years, he's been, honestly really bad at that. I think so far this season, he's shown that he's, done a better job of making good decisions with the football in his hands, knowing when to throw the ball away, knowing when to get down, knowing when the play is probably over, and just, living to fight another day. I think, that in his maturation in that process is, number one, I think it's, self-preserving. He's not going to take as many hits, but I also think that every off season he's probably gone back and done an off season study and realized, like, man, took this sack when I didn't need to, took this sack when I didn't need to, didn't throw the ball away here when I should have, knocked us out of field goal range. And I'm sure the coaching staff has really helped him when doing those self-scouts and self-evaluations.
And when you watch Marvin Harrison Jr., Rudy, you've worked with a lot of receivers, your quarterbacks. What do you see in this young man? I mean, the hands, the routes, all the above. But in particular, what are you seeing that maybe the average fan's probably not seeing?
Well, I think all of it, right? I mean, they call him Maserati Marv. I mean, look, he's got freakish abilities. He can run, he can jump. He does great in 50-50 situations. He's tall. I mean, he's like, in my viewpoint, a unicorn when it comes to a wide receiver, which is why he was picked where he was picked. But I think the thing that separates him is just the fact that he grew up in a household with a Hall of Fame dad. Yeah. Not only was his dad a great player and a great wide receiver, but his dad was very smart. His dad played with one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL ever, in Peyton Manning. And so I just think all of the things that he's learned while growing up in his career from his dad, as far as route running and recognizing coverage and be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, just all of those little things, the nuance of the position that most rookies, I think, take a long time to get. He comes into the league already understanding a lot of that. And so, and I also think too, just his accountability and the fact that, in my viewpoint so far, he doesn't seem like a huge prima donna. I mean, you heard him talk yesterday, like, man, I really hate that Kyler's, only 4 incompletions were balls that were thrown to me, which just shows you his competitiveness and expectation that, he believes he should catch the ball every single time it's thrown to him. So I don't know. For me, I just think that he's a really good player, and I think so far has done a really good job of, keeping the noise, around him at bay.
Rudy Carpenter is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Rudy, I get the reaction by fans right now that they just destroyed a MASH unit, which was disguised as the Los Angeles Rams, and rightfully so. That's exactly what you should do to a team that has lost half of their personnel. So does the real test come next week when they play against a team that defensively should be able to put a lot more pressure on Kyler Murray? Will we get a much better read on the Cardinals next week?
Well, I mean, probably. I mean, at the end of the day, though, they can only play the teams that are on their schedule, right? And in the first week, they played who was on their schedule in the Buffalo Bills. Yesterday, they played who was on their schedule in the Los Angeles Rams, and that's just who was on their schedule. You know, I think the Bills are obviously a very good football team. We saw, you know, what the Cardinals did on the road against them in week one. They come back against a team with a lot of injuries. The Rams. To answer your question, yeah, we'll probably get a better read. When they're playing a team that they're going to play next week, we'll probably get a better read. But at the end of the day, this is the NFL. All of these teams in the NFL have good players. You know, in my viewpoint so far, I think this team has actually played better, in my viewpoint, than what their roster and what their talent level is. I think the Bills are going to be a very good football team this year. They played them hard. They played them well. They beat the Rams yesterday. I get the circumstances, but, you know, yeah, me personally, I try to reserve judgment on football teams, whether it's college or the NFL, until, you know, week 4, week 5, because then you really, really know who these teams are.
Real quick, Rudy, how about those Devils? 3-0. You got to be happy about that. They came back from a big deficit the other night, and they're really showing a lot of character.
Not only that, but I mean, you know, I think people hear Arizona State versus Texas State, and they just assume that that's a football game Arizona State should win just based on the name recognition. People don't realize that Texas State is a very, 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 very good football program. In my viewpoint, they have one of the best young coaches in college football in G.J. Kinn. He's done a great job. But I think more so, you know, Kenny Dillingham has done a great job with this football team and coaching this football team. And I think Kenny's got this team trending in the right direction. And I think the fan base should be happy about Kenny. I just think that Kenny does a good job coaching the team, motivating the team, getting on the team. But I also think he does a good job just in the media and how he interacts with the fan base, interacts with the media, and how he does things his own way. I think it's been refreshing for the program.
No question. Rudy, thanks for the time as always on a Monday. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.
See you guys.
That's Rudy Carpenter joining us. Brought to you by All City Towing. Join the team at the largest towing company in the state. That's All City Towing. They're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, customer service. It's all there. Great benefits, healthy 401k employer match, great employer paid life insurance, monthly fuel allowance. So if you're ready to take your career to the next level, visit them online at allcitytowing.com. That's All City Towing, where your future is on the move. We'll continue next with more Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Casino, Arizona. Get ready for tonight's Falcons-Eagles Monday Night Affair.
Looking for the ultimate spot to watch football with fellow Ohioans in Phoenix? It's Upper Crust Pizza and Wine Bar. Enjoy great pizza, cold drinks, and cheer them on all season long at Upper Crust. Located at the 101 and Cave Creek Road.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. Monsoon season is upon us. Be proactive today. Go to state48roofing.com. Scan the QR code below. We want to take care of you. Be proactive. Get your maintenance done. We are home of the hashtag sexy roof status.
Dreaming of a stunning putting green or a perfect lawn? With Tempe Turf Installers, it's a reality, starting at just $550 per square foot. Enjoy peace of mind with up to a 16-year product warranty and a 2-year labor warranty. Our skilled team uses cutting-edge techniques and premium materials for a lush, low-maintenance lawn. Call Mark at 602-348-7190 or visit TempeTurfInstallers.com for your free estimate. Licensed, bonded, insured. Tempe Turf Installers, your trusted source for artificial turf.
Tune in Thursdays at 1:30 p.m. for the Crest Insurance Group Sun Devil Report with Coach Charlie Regal. Crest Insurance, coverage you can trust, service you can count on. Every Thursday on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Attention Nebraska and Arizona fans. Catch every thrilling game at Arena Sports Grill, your official watch party destination. Enjoy great food, drinks, and the ultimate game day atmosphere with fellow fans. Don't miss a single play. Arena Sports Grill in Scottsdale.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, live from the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Dive into parlays, futures, and prop bets on all your favorite sports. Catch every moment on one of our 46 stunning 4K screens. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, your sports fans' paradise.
And we know you have choices when listening to sports radio in the Valley. Appreciate you hanging out with us for a few minutes today. We want to bring you some of the sound from yesterday, not the highlights that you saw on television, but you want to hear from the powers that be, like Jonathan Gannon and Marvin Harrison, as well as Kyler Murray. As it's pretty safe to say, Kyler Murray's not a guy you hear a lot of. So when he does speak, you listen, right? And so here's Jonathan Gannon, how he was pleased with the effort, especially coming off of last week's loss.
I'm happy for the players. You know what I mean? They put a lot into this, and they had to, pick themselves up off the mat after round one and had to pour everything into round two, and we did enough to win round two.
I think the one thing the National Football League guys is when you lose opening game or game, pick up your old bootstraps and try. You work so hard. It's hard to win a game, National Football League.
It is.
It is so hard. So I'm impressed that they kept it going the entire game. And I think after getting shut out that second half last week, if not for a return touchdown on a kickoff, that this team looked at it and said, look, it's a winnable game. We should win this game. They took care of business, came into their backyard, got after it, and stayed after it the entire game.
One of the things that I found so interesting about the game on Sunday was the way that they came right out of the gate. There was no messing around. I mean, they were looking to go downfield from the opening kickoff. Once they got the football, they were on the run. And I found that to be very refreshing. A lot of times teams just want to hand the ball off and kind of poke and prod. No, they went for it right from the get-go, and I really like that.
What was it? I mean, they scored on the first drive last week,
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
They've had success with that. It seems like they got that in their playbook, and they orchestrate it. They do well. When was it? Was it 4 or 5 years ago where they couldn't score in the first quarter?
Sure.
It was like one of their biggest things where it was like a big deal that we would talk about every Monday. Like, are they ever going to score in the first quarter?
Cliff Kingsbury didn't understand NFL defenses.
That's what it was.
He was scripting everything.
I remember when that was.
It did make sense. And what you've noticed, they've come out pounding the ball with James Conner.
Yeah.
They come out establishing the run. He rips off a 10-yard run from the get-go. All of a sudden, it loosens that defense up so you can play action. So they're able to take some shots down the field. But, hey, how about that? They took a shot down the field. They must have been listening to Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B last week.
Yeah,
take a couple shots
I really
down
doubt
the field.
that. But
Thank you, Drew Petchy, for listening.
Another thing with the National Football League, too, to your point, Jimmy B, is underdogs dominated week 2.
Yes.
And, you saw 7 underdogs win straight up, which was huge. And we'll talk more about that when we get to Casey here at the casino and the sportsbook. But it is so tough to bet the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season when you have a Raiders team who took down the Ravens, which I don't think anyone would have expected, or the Bengals to cover 6 with the Chiefs. And how about the Patriots, pushing it in overtime with Seattle? I mean, there were so many upsets, not to mention New Orleans, blowing out the Cowboys.
Well, that was unbelievable.
And I think a lot of it is, guys, you got to realize a lot of guys aren't playing in preseason. So I think what we're seeing is a lot of teams preseason now during regular season to kind of find who they are, what they aren't. I mean, you got an 0-2 Bengals team. You have an 0-2 Ravens team, as you mentioned.
Yeah, but Bengals have been there before 0-2.
I know, but here's the thing. If guys aren't playing, they're really not up to full speed. It's taken them 2 or 3, 4 games. That's why I've always said you really don't know who you are, what you are, until like after the 4th game. Once guys have gone through, getting themselves up to speed because they haven't played. Who's injured, who's not injured, who's in sync, who's not in sync. But it's interesting how those Kansas City Chiefs, they're always ready coming out of the chute.
Why is that, Manuch?
Because this guy named Andy Reid, he's old school.
He is.
He plays his guys during preseason.
He does.
And they're ready to go.
Well, they could have easily lost yesterday. It was a non-call and a pass interference that should have happened late in that game.
I'm like, that referee, that PI, I'm like, oh, wow. I mean, he threw that from about, 30 yards back on that play. Is that a PI or not? It looked like he got there early.
It was PI.
Yeah,
he was early.
He was early.
He hit him in the head.
Yeah.
No, he was all over. He came across.
But you can't hit the wide receiver before the ball.
So hit him from the back of the head.
Yeah, he did. So everybody's complaining. Said, well, it was PI.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, I will say the first week the officials they weren't any of the narrative last Monday.
Mm-hmm.
They're part of the narrative today in a lot of cities.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at
there were some pretty bad calls, non-calls, things that happened.
Well, a key call was Jamar Chase getting a personal foul call for mouthing off the official. Yeah. There's some things you just can't say.
You can't do that.
And Burrow's are going, dude, you can't say that, and he flagged him, and rightfully so.
Let's get back to our sound from yesterday. Here's Marvin Harrison Jr. says he did not get discouraged after a tough week 1.
You can never get too high, never get too low. Last week, I know I couldn't get too low. This week, I'm not going to get too high on a successful day. So you just try to approach each game with the same mindset, have the same preparation, same routine.
He's a pro.
He talks just like his dad.
He's a pro. He's learned from his dad. He's a big program at Ohio State.
Does.
His dad.
It's like he's been there.
Yeah, he understands. Look, I can't get caught up. And the old saying is, then you're never as good or never as bad as they say you are. It's somewhere in the middle lies the truth. And for that young man to have that big of a game was to give him some confidence, but he understands the highs and lows of the pro game.
And here's Kyler talking about how hard they worked for this win.
I expect greatness for this team. The way we work, the way we play for each other, the effort, the tenacity that we play with. I expect good things. I'm not going to say we came out here trying to make a statement, but try to come out here, get a win at home, and continue to do that.
Just take care of business. You got a team that's wounded. Well, what were they? Were they a 1-point favorite? The Cardinals at kickoff.
That was it.
I mean, they expected to win this game as much banged up as the Rams were.
Speaking of that, this week I got a 3.5 yesterday. It's down to 3 now. So man, this
Detroit?
Game, this is a tough one to pick.
You got it.
Because Detroit gave it away yesterday.
They did,
and it's like I think a lot of people. That's where I discussed that it is so hard to pick games this early in the season.
I'm just telling
3.
you right now, Aiden Hutchinson is going to live in Kyler Murray's grill
if
the
he can
entire
catch
game.
him, if he can
catch
him,
but he'll be chasing him.
He's like a greased pig running around back there. It's tough to get down.
Hutchinson
and whenever
had
it seems like Detroit and Arizona when they play, because they've been known as the 2 worst franchises for so many years.
Yep.
It's usually like a 13-10 game. Here's the last one. Kyler Murray talking about picking up a divisional win early in the season, which they have not done very often.
We had a great week of practice, prepared for this. We went out there and executed against a good football team. Divisional opponent, first home opener, 1-0 in the division. It was a good win.
Well, because they didn't win any last year. No division wins last year.
Yeah.
And you think, that's a good start.
Jonathan Gannon got a game ball, right?
Yeah, I would hope he did.
Hey, that sound is brought to you by Twin Peaks in all 5 Valley locations. You can sign up for our free Pro Football Fan Pick'em. Just go to fanpick'em.com. It's courtesy of Blue Moon and Coors Light. This year you have a chance to win $5,000. We got great weekly prizes like
2.
Twin Peaks gift cards. Just go to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com. Never too late as we take out your 4 worst weeks. So obviously 2 weeks in, a lot of people have not done well, but that's all right. They may be the 2 that you can just knock out. So good stuff there. But we are out here at Casino Arizona in the sports book. We'll have Casey join us, as I think the sports book did quite well.
I would think so.
You think?
I would think
some
so.
of those
upsets,
because it depends. If there were a lot of people on some of these underdogs, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You're taking the favorites, so the sports book is going to win.
You would have thought that all the money in the world would have been on the Cowboys against New Orleans,
especially in Dallas.
Yeah.
As well as they played.
Yep.
You know what? I mean, I think my dog won. I mean, I got the Missouri Boston College. I should start maybe throwing a couple shekels in there a little bit. I mean,
dude, you're 1-2.
No, I'm not. I'm 3-0 with my dogs. Currently 3-0 with my dogs.
I don't even know who I had. Do you remember? So I wasn't here, but I gave it to you.
Yeah, you gave it to us. I think
Hey,
maybe UNLV.
I won
No, I know. I think I won my lock.
Yeah,
I won my lock on Saturday because I had Washington State, so that was good.
How about that? I mean, you think that Washington's got a good team. Jet Fish,
30.
all those transfers he's got.
Yeah.
I mean, in Washington.
Yeah.
And they go ahead and beat him up there. The Wazoo beats him up there in Washington.
In Seattle.
Coming up, we're getting into some college football talk. Is
20.
hell of a week 3 as we'll get into that. Some of the sounds. Archie Manning, Deion Sanders. We'll get into all of that next. And Craig Philly from ABC 15. It's Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 910.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
For RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
Got a burning urge to pick games each week? Sign up now for Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em, brought to you by Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's totally free to play. Win weekly Twin Peaks fan cards and season-long prizes, including $5,000 cash. Visit fanpick'em.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you right now. Like Alt2K.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Just search Alt2K and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app.
Okay. iHeartRadio.
Free never sounded so good.
TD, Tutty, taking it to the house. Whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook.
I was sent a countdown. I think Rock sent it, and it already has it.
Something simple, like a player to score a touchdown. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download
Okay, so he just wants like the boys number 4.
That's code 910 for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium.
Okay, if he has a raw file, that'd be great, but I'll try to cut it out.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus, Arizona only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at NFL.com/terms.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Dukes, because there's only one Dukes. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Stop.
John Legend here. How do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Ask your healthcare provider and book at VaxAssist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Broadcasting from the Raffi Law Group Studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
It's a 7-game road trip for the Diamondbacks starting tonight as they take on the Rockies. Merrill Kelly on the mound. They remain in the NL second wild card spot at 83 and 66. Former Arizona quarterback Nick Foles will retire as a member of the Eagles in tonight's game against the Falcons. He guided Philadelphia to a win over the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. The Mercury beat the Sky yesterday. They'll start the final week of the WNBA regular season tomorrow when they take on the LA Sparks. Back to work for the Cardinals. They're moving on from yesterday's big win against the Rams. They get the Lions in Week 3. Practice starts Wednesday. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910. Available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Monday, look for mostly sunny skies. Temperatures right around 100 degrees. Very slight chance of seeing a few isolated showers today with breezy conditions. That's going to last into this evening with those overnight lows right around 72. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Desert Financial Credit Union.
You shouldn't have to pay to spend your own money. Join Desert Financial and get a free checking account with no monthly service fees. And you get a rewards program that offers a cashback bonus. Visit desertfinancial.com/betterbanking.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Well, we're talking college football right now as the Week 4 AP poll is out, and Texas is your new number one team on the poll, followed by Georgia, who barely got by, Kentucky, Ohio State, which was off, Alabama, which looked really good, Ole Miss, Tennessee is 6, Missouri's looking good at 7, followed by Miami, Oregon, and Penn State as your top 10. I do want to mention that Arizona State got 3 votes. Arizona, they dropped out of the top 25 with their loss to K-State. They are at 15 votes. But Texas is the number one team, and it's the first time since October of 2008.
Wow.
Britney Spears had the top song last time.
Oops,
Texas.
I did it again.
Yep, and this is the best ranking in a long time as Longhorns. It's pretty cool to see how they're going. I'm telling you, I was upset to see Quinn get hurt.
Yes,
obviously, because I love the kid, and that's why I took Texas to win the national championship. But Archie Manning, man,
Arch is the real
Arch
deal.
comes in there, and boy, and here he is. Here is some sound of him. He comes in, he leads this team. He goes 9-12 passing, 223 yards, 4 touchdowns total that he was involved in. And here is one of his plays where he rushed 67 yards for a touchdown.
A decent clip, but they hadn't done much on the ground in this game.
Oh, look at Arch Manning. Oh, hit him with the 2-step. Arch Manning, touchdown.
Gotta like how they get a Texas 2-step in there. 5 total touchdowns, not 4.
How about a Manning having speed? Now, obviously, Cooper Manning's his dad.
Yeah,
he was
made a big deal about that.
Yeah, Cooper was the receiver.
Yeah.
Eli and Peyton were the quarterback. So you went, wow. I mean, a Manning. The other two have got Frankenstein feet. This kid can flat run.
I always tell people, go look at highlights of Archie Manning when he played for the Saints. Dude was a great athlete and could really run.
And he had to run.
He had to run.
That's black and white, right?
No,
Television?
it's not
No.
black and white. He was running for his life, though, on almost every
Color
play.
was just coming in around his rookie year.
Yeah.
69, 70.
RCA was
Yeah.
television.
Motorola.
Deion Sanders and his Buffs, they got a win they really needed on Saturday night. They bounced back from an embarrassing loss. They take care of their in-state rival, Colorado State, 28-9. And there was a lot of banter that went on, a lot of disrespect between both schools. Both quarterbacks didn't shake hands at the end because Shador didn't shake the quarterback from Colorado State at the end, which was kind of weak. But here's Deion Sanders opening up his press conference by saying it was personal.
Heartfelt game, emotional game. They kind of make it like that. We just want to play some football.
Oh, shut up.
The disrespect was uncalled for throughout the week. A couple of their players took shots at the whole program and a few of our players. So it is what it is. So we knew that coming into the game, it was going to be a bit personal, and it was. I think one of our coaches, Coach Phillips, doing warm-ups, one of the guys ran into him and elbowed him, which is uncalled for. I just pray that our kids never acted in that manner, because I know you guys would have a field day if they did. But I know you won't say anything or do anything.
10 seconds.
An opposing team does that versus us make derogatory comments during the week about our program.
Deion Sanders' opening statement against their win.
I can tell you this: the trash talk was off the chart,
and it
was by Colorado State players.
Yeah, and
it's both.
If there's a guy that should be, and he's being served Heisman, Travis Hunter. Here's his stats: Travis offense, 13 receptions, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 123 snaps. A defense, 1 interception, 38 on the return, 1 pass breakup, 5 tackles. Not a bad day. 123 snaps on the day.
He is the Heisman Trophy winner right now.
He is right now. After
yeah. I mean, no.
Come on, Jimmy.
3 weeks in.
Come on.
He is the Heisman
Hold on,
Trophy.
Come
You got to
on.
win all your games.
The leader.
Yeah.
You're talking about the guy that got blown out against Nebraska last week?
He still had over 100
Well,
yards.
guys, you look at the overall football player on the field. He's doing both. We have not seen a guy go both ways like this.
Correct.
In many, many years, maybe since Jim Thorpe going that day. With these kind of numbers.
Yeah.
Now, if he can keep that up,
right,
he'll be one of those to be considered, depending who the quarterback would be.
He will be invited to New York.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, the only other guy I can think of is his quarterback. If his quarterback continues to have big games, should understand. But I mean, you look at those numbers: 123 snaps. How many guys in college football have done that? Let alone in one game on a consistent basis. Now, can he hold up? Last year he got dinged up pretty good.
He did,
but can he hold up? That's what's so impressive about this young man.
Big 12 conference started for a lot of teams. Of course, we'll get into Arizona State in just a minute. But UCF, the Knights, they were down by 21 points. They come back to beat TCU, the Horned Frogs, 35-34. It was a wild game. You had block kicks. You had a lot of third down conversions that went to the wire. It was not a boring game. Here is the 20-yard TD pass with 36 seconds left in that fourth quarter, which sealed the deal for the Knights.
Advantage Hudson there. He's got him here.
Jefferson has him again. Hudson makes the catch, and a flag comes out. Touchdown, Kobe Hudson. And we'll check on the flag at the end of the play.
And it stood, and it was a touchdown. And as I mentioned, UCF with the win, thanks to Fox on that call.
I just want to say this about the Big 12, and for people who are Arizona State and University of Arizona fans, you got to take a look at some of these teams because UCF has got players. Manuch, you know they have players because you have watched them in the past, and you know what UCF has done against K-State. You know what they've done against teams like Iowa State and how good they were when they would play against Texas or Oklahoma when they were in the Big 12. UCF is going to bust some teams' bubbles this season.
Yeah, they've been under the radar.
They have.
And to beat TCU.
I don't know if they've been necessarily under the radar.
Well, you can hear about the talent. They cleaned up the transfer portal.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money.
They did.
And what they did in that game just showed everybody, hey, we're still here.
Yep.
You know, we're trying to get back to where we were several years ago. We came out to the Fiesta Bowl and took on LSU and tried to win that national title. But what they've done to the Big 12 and to ASU and U of A, which you alluded to, Rock, they better be able to score some points. And you better be able to tackle guys in space because of all the athletes that are all over the place in all these games. And U of A, which we'll get to, pretty much found that out with K-State as far as kickoff return and punt return and then guys down the field. There's so much speed in the Big 12, and you saw that in this game going back and forth.
What do we have next? Florida. Their head football coach might be on the sidelines much longer if the recent reports are correct. Of course, they had that loss to Texas A&M in the SEC opener, or they just had that home loss, I should say. They got routed 33-20 in the Swamp. It was the second blowout home loss of the season. Of course, the first one was against their rival. And you look at head coach Billy Napier, who he's 1-2. He's 12-16 in 28 games. He's 7-15 against power conferences. It's another losing season for him, and he's got one of the toughest schedules, to be honest.
Yep.
But they do have Mississippi State, who got blown out by Toledo. We'll get into that next. But here is him responding to the fans booing at home.
In that kind of night for Toledo, and they are 4 for 4 in the red. And they execute again, wide open, Jerwan Newton. Holy Toledo. They are shocking Mississippi State in Starkville.
That was the wrong cut. That was actually Toledo as they went to Starkville, and they blitzed the heck out of Mississippi State. They racked up 454 yards, 5 touchdowns. They scored on 4 of their first 5 possessions. At halftime, they were up 28-3. Of course, Mississippi State, a team that Arizona State beat 2 weeks ago.
3.
That was that one. But can you play the Billy Napier on Florida fans, please?
Do you remember how you called it?
I'm not sure it's there.
No, that's on the line up there.
I don't see it.
It's gone. All right, my bad. That is my fault. I thought that was there. I'm looking off of my other notes. Then we'll just wrap it up there. But so the other game that I think is important to talk about is Georgia. They were number 1 at the time. They escaped in their SEC opener to beat Kentucky in Lexington 13-12. So it was a 1-pointer in that one. You know, there's talk of Carson Beck being overrated. I mean, you know, we talk about Heisman. You know, he's been the guy that everybody's been talking about. He was 14 of 27, only 114 yards, no touchdowns. But you got to look at his other stat line. No sacks, no fumbles, no interceptions. That does play into it. And at the end of the day, it's a big win.
Well, give Kentucky credit. That defensive game plan, they were all over them. They were stopping the run, preventing big plays.
Yes.
And I think that if they keep the plays in front of them, which they did, they had an opportunity. They had a couple opportunities to take that lead, but they got shut down by that Georgia defense. That defense is still on the money when you look at top defenses in the nation.
It won Georgia the game.
It really did. And you know what? And so you don't have all the home run hitters you had a couple years ago when you won a national title. But Carson Beck, he's a solid quarterback. They'll figure it out. They'll be there in the end after it's all said and done.
And then real quick, before we go to break, a little love for Arizona State and their win over Texas State, which was a big one to come back with 21 points. And then, sadly, for Arizona, out of the top 25, as they lost to some team in Kansas.
Every man a Wildcat.
Well, they're Wildcats down there, too. But anyway.
Welcome to Big Boy Ball.
That's it, man. Welcome to the Big 12.
That's right, man. It was a big got shut out in that second half. But again, you know, you go into Manhattan, Kansas, 55,000 fans. I mean, that team is, you know, one of the teams favored.
They are.
To win the Big 12.
Yep. And that was a non-conference
game.
Yep.
Game.
Very important. Very important.
But
so
I
won't hurt them too bad.
But I think what happened is they saw speed versus speed.
Yes.
I mean, the combination for Fafita and McMillan wasn't there when you saw their secondary cover, and a couple of guys get up underneath for that one pick in the end zone.
Right.
So, hey, U of A still got a solid team.
Just
now they know, you know, what some of the things they had to work on.
And that would have been one of the games that you look at the schedule and say, hey, you know, they could lose that.
Yeah, they could.
Your chance to win $9,100 is tonight here at Casino Arizona in the sports bar, in the sports book. Each week, 20 lucky contestants have a chance to roll the jumbo dice to win the grand prize, which is $9,100. The way that works is you roll Fox 910, you win that. If you roll Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B and those dice, you win a big screen TV. And coming up over the next couple of weeks, we're going to kind of tweak it a little bit where instead of rolling 6 of a kind, if you roll 4 of a kind or 3 of a kind, you're going to win some cash as well.
I can just tell you that when we were Saturday doing the college football show at Phillies, we had 2 people out of the 20 roll 3 of a kind.
Wow.
So
it's hard to do.
It's hard to do, but one of them almost had 4 of a kind because it hit and it tumbled and it looked like it was going to stop again.
It didn't.
On Fox Sports. Nope. And it rolled one more time to Dos Equis.
So would you have bought him a drink if he would have got 4?
Hell yeah.
Break?
Yeah.
Coming up, our G2G protein bar game changers for the weekend. That's next. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 910.
Kick off the football season with Twin Peaks, Roc, Manuch, Jimmy B, and Fox Sports 910 for our fantastic tailgating sweepstakes. Text PEAKS to 59925 for your chance to win a Traeger grill, Blackstone griddle, and more. No purchase necessary. Details at rockandmanuch.com.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. Monsoon season is here, which means my team and I are ready to serve you and your family. Go to state48roofing.com, scan the QR code below. We'll see you up on your roof.
Are you sick of fad diets or tired of overpaying for name brand weight loss meds? Semaglutide and tirzepatide, now available at Metier Clinical Services. These injectables are revolutionizing weight loss, starting at just $275 per month. Transform your health today, whether in Arcadia or online at metierpharmacy.com. Our expert team supports you every step of the way. Ready to take control? Contact Metier Clinical Services at 602-835-2675. Visit metierclinicalservices.com. Consult your healthcare provider before starting any weight loss program.
Introducing Smidge, the game-changing, ready-to-drink beverage that's shaking up the market. With just 2.5% alcohol and only 50 calories in a 12-ounce serving, Smidge is perfect for the sober curious. Smidge better taste, fewer calories, and double the fun. Try it today.
You may not have any experience dealing with car wrecks, but Lerner and Rowe does. After your car wreck, you need an attorney to make sure your interests, like car repairs, medical bills, and lost wages, are protected. Finding the right attorney is actually easy. Just look for reputation, experience, and results. Lerner and Rowe has thousands of 5-star reviews, decades of experience, and we've recovered billions of dollars for our injured clients. Hurt in a wreck and need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part? We don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at venezias.com. That's venezias.com. Venezia's, a family and catering tradition.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Work is busy, and home, pretty much the same. But you wouldn't know it because my skin doesn't look stressed thanks to Olay Retinol Body Wash. Its hydrating formula is packed with vitamin B3 complex plus retinol. I use Olay Retinol Body Wash to transform my skin from dry to moisturized and visibly renewed. Sure, I still have stress, but my skin looks amazing. Try Olay Retinol Body Wash for visibly renewed skin in just 14 days. Also try Retinol 24 Body Lotion.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, live from the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
Your life.
The parlays, futures, and prop bets on all your favorite sports. Catch every moment on one of our 46 stunning 4K screens. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, your sports fans' paradise.
Appreciate you hanging out with us. Roc, Manuch, Jimmy B. Jacks got you covered for the next almost hour and a half as we're out here at Casino, Arizona. On Mondays, we like to do our G2G protein bars game changers. And G2G protein bars, if you have not tried them, they're now available in Costco. They're in the refrigerated section. And you'll see what I mean when you have them. They're outstanding, especially my favorite, the peanut butter banana chocolate. Who doesn't like peanut butter banana chocolate in anything? They're delicious. They're good for you. And they're great to put in your golf bag or a way to get some solid protein, healthy fats into your diet. You can check it out at the refrigerated section or in the refrigerated section at Costco, or just go to g2gbar.com. All right, we'll start with me first, me being Roc, and here's someone who keeps making history.
The Viking defense, 2nd down 9. Donald getting messy, going deep, and he's got Jefferson. He's got Jefferson. It's a foot race downfield with Brown. Shifting gears, getting a block, that's 6. 97 yards. Holy smokes.
That's Justin Jefferson, who continues to do things that a lot of football players have never done. Unfortunately, he did exit the third quarter. He got hurt there, but he finished with 133 yards receiving. It was his 30th 100-yard game that tied him with Hall of Famer Randy Moss for the most in 5 seasons. And Jefferson has 15 more games to go. He missed 7 games last year with a hamstring.
Right.
He has tied Hall of Famer Lance Allworth with 125 receiving yard games in 5 seasons. He has 15 games left in his 5th season to get that mark. He's also the 3rd fastest for 400 receptions. He's the 3rd youngest to 400. He's the youngest player to reach 6,000 yards, and he's tied with Allworth with the fastest 600 yards. He is averaging 98.2 yards per game for his career.
Those are big numbers.
Huge numbers. He may go down as the best receiver of all time.
Good.
If he keeps that up.
Yeah.
The numbers are so huge.
He'd have a long
and
way.
he hasn't had that. He didn't have Joe Montana.
No.
He's been doing it with less.
Yeah, he's had 3 different. You look at the guys he's had so far. Now he's got Sam Darnold,
right?
Who's fit well in that system.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, who he fit well. I think that you look at that, but I mean, the guy, the average is just off the chart. That's like the old AFL days.
It is
of
AFL.
Allworth,
Yes.
Don Maynard.
Yes.
And you think of all those guys that would throw, like every other down was all pass in the AFL.
It's interesting that it's all equated then to Lance Allworth. You guys remember Lance Allworth's nickname?
Bambi.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
That's the poster hanging up there in
That's
the
it.
Manucci household.
He was awesome, Allworth.
All right, guys, my G2G protein bar guy's a guy that was scrambling all over the place, had a perfect quarterback rating. Well, here he is, Kyler Murray on a 27-yard scramble.
Scheme typically for Arkansas football over the years. Here's Murray climbing the pocket, getting away, and he's got some space. Ooh, nearly took a huge hit from Cam Curl, ducked down to the 32-yard line, a 27-yard.
It's a good thing he did duck down or slide down. Cam Curl coming in there with the forearm shiver. Kyler Murray touchdown pass to Marvin Harrison Jr. Murray on the day was 17 of 21. 266 yards, 3 TD passes, 2 of those to MHJ. 12.7 yards per average, folks. 59 yards rushing for 11.8 yards per carry. Perfect passer rating. He had a couple of G2G protein bars, I'm sure. And just looked the part as far as running, throwing, keeping his eyes up, taking care of the football. No interceptions, and only had the 1 sack. So my guy is G2G protein bar, player of the game, Kyler Murray.
Makes perfect sense. I'm going to go like Rock did. Rock went with a little history-making play with Justin Jefferson. Mine is also in the history books. It is Major League Baseball. It is the game between the San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Giants. And last night, history was made. Jalote Ramos hits a home run to right field, and it lands in McCovey Cove. And you're going, well, people have hit home runs into McCovey Cove. No, he's a right-handed hitter. It's the first time ever a right-handed hitter has gone opposite field, and the ball has hit the water in McCovey Cove. First time ever. The shot was over 400 feet on that drive. First time ever right-handed hitter, history making at the yard last night.
Was the ball retrieved?
It was. Yep, there was a guy out there with his kayak and picked it up. So
what a
that,
great ballpark.
Yeah, I know that was fun. Oh, it's a beautiful.
That's
ballpark.
a strong individual to go opposite
field.
400 feet.
Yeah.
I think of guys that could do it are feeling like Judge could do it. You think of Christian Walker could do it.
Ohtani.
Well,
Yeah.
Ohtani's left-handed.
Yeah, but he would go the opposite way, right field.
But I'm talking about
left players that go, well,
Yeah.
Judge is lefty. Or no, Judge
he's
is
right-handed.
Ohtani goes opposite a lot.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
Yeah. But anyway,
speaking of baseball, D-backs, they avoided a 3-game sweep with their 11-10 win over the Brewers at the bank yesterday. Suarez, man, I don't know. If he wasn't on this team would be 20 games out. They currently sit 1.5 games behind San Diego for the top National League wildcard spot. They got the Rockies this week. Then they head to Milwaukee for a 4-game set. This could be the season this week.
Guys, I'm
They may
telling
not
you,
even make the playoffs.
they've lost 5 out of the last 9, and where they struggled is starting pitching. I mean, their hitting has got to step up.
Milwaukee has lit them up.
Lit them up. I mean, look, but think of it. Ever since you go back 5 of the last 9 games, their starting rotations barely made it out of the 4th inning. The other thing too is, and we talked about this last week, Jimmy, in reference to their starting rotation throwing a lot of pitches early on. So you're right, Rock. These next 13 games, you only got 1 day off. These next 13 games against the Brew Crew, you got 4 of them. You got the 3 of the Rockies, the Brew Crew, the Giants, the Padres. Got 1 day off.
That's it.
And this starting rotation has got to step up because you don't know how long these bats can stay hot.
We talked about this when we were discussing the Diamondbacks and their struggles with their pitching, and guys were getting to the fourth inning, Manuch, and you referenced the fact they had already thrown 98 to 104 pitches, and they were already in the fourth inning.
And look at Nelly, look at Font.
Yeah.
And Font can't make it out of the second inning.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
3.
I mean, it's the worst time for a staff to start faltering.
So there you have it. D-backs again. Rockies, they'll pay a visit to and have that clash starting today. Merrill Kelly will get the ball in this 3-game set to start. Moreno is getting activated from the injured list yesterday, so that's good. Paul Sewald went on the IL, so some injuries still become a problem.
Nelson went on the IL. He's on.
Yep.
So you look at hey, Jordan Montgomery. Here we go, bud.
I know.
Here's your chance to step back up again. He's going to be the guy, I think, that comes up with all the others. But I think Montgomery will fill in the role. Don't know how long. He's got the shoulder strain.
Yes.
Being Nelson. How long that lasts. Hope it's not a week or 2 weeks. You only got 2 weeks.
Manuch, I'm still not sold on Montgomery. I've seen him come out of the pen, and a couple of innings he's looked really good, and then other times he's come in and he's gotten lit up. So I'm still. He's
the de facto Jimmy. He's the guy that's going to come up.
I know that's going to be the case.
So he better figure it out because that 4. I doubt if Nelson can come back in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So he's the guy, and Moreno coming back will help a lot.
Agreed.
His bat will help immensely.
Tonight, Monday Night Football, the Falcons and the Eagles.
Can I just say that Rock is attired quite nicely in Eagles gear this evening. That is his hometown team, but yet he has already stated that he doesn't like the shirt that he has on,
I don't.
and he wants to change it.
Well, I was.
Why don't you like it? It looks good on you.
I'll be honest with you. I don't like the Eagles colors.
Green and white?
Yeah, when they changed to this color.
Oh,
if you remember, it was more of a
green,
lighter.
It was a lighter green. Yes,
One.
it was.
That was old school. That
Yeah.
was the green I liked.
Okay.
They went with this freaking puke green, and and I'm like, and I like the black when they wear the black. But I'm just not a big fan of. You don't have to like your team's colors, right?
Okay,
I just don't. And it's like I have a lot of cool T-shirts because they're the old school,
right?
But the new stuff, man, I put this on. I'm like, man, it's just not working. Not working for me.
So you saved it for us. Thanks a lot.
I saw something on, it was probably TikTok last night or something where there's like, can you name the only team that ends in ES?
30?
ES in all the NFL. ES, like when it comes to
you
like the
mean
Falcons
the
or the
mascot
Jets
name, the
or
mascot
whatever.
names.
Who's the only team in the ES? There's only one.
Ends in ES.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
It's a hell of a trivia question.
It really is.
Scour the brain on that
Yeah,
one.
I got to think about that one.
TikTok, they asked all these people and
that
no one
question.
could get it.
Trivia question. Yeah, ES. It's hard.
Man,
Not really.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I could
Is
give
it
you,
the
I could
Panthers?
give you an
Is it
easier
the
clue.
Panthers? Carolina
I mean,
Panthers?
I set you guys up.
Carolina Panthers?
How you spell Panthers? Is it ended in ES?
ERS, yeah.
ES.
Oh, ES. Okay.
Eagles.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. ES.
I can't believe it took him that long.
Rewind.
did.
That'll make the show on Friday. I hope.
Hey,
Anyway.
at least I had a guess. That's better than Manuch.
No, sometimes it's not good to say anything.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I just kind of.
Yeah, but if we don't say anything, then it's dead air. We don't have a show. This is radio. I'm okay if I screw up.
Hey, we got some Factor Food with ABC 15's sport director, Craig Philly. That's next. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Behold. Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
Back to work for the Cardinals, who are moving on after yesterday's big win against the Rams. They'll focus on the Lions for Week 3. Then he backs out of town this week for 7, starting tonight against the Rockies. Merrill Kelly gets the ball. Arizona remains in the NL second wild card spot at 83-66. Former U of A QB Nick Foles will retire as a member of the Eagles in tonight's game against the Falcons. Foles guided Philadelphia to a win over the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. The Mercury beat the Chicago Sky yesterday and begin the final week of the WNBA regular season tomorrow against the LA Sparks. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Choosing the right lawyer after a car wreck is important. You need to consider the law firm's experience, results, and reputation. Lerner Rowe stands above other law firms when it comes to experience and results, helping over 150,000 people recover billions of dollars for their injuries. When it comes to reputation, we have thousands of 5-star reviews, and year after year, we have been voted best personal injury law firm in Arizona. Call us today and let us put our experience, proven results, and reputation to work for you.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Ready for some football? Join our annual Pro Football Pick'em contest today. You could win $5,000 and amazing prizes from Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. Don't miss out on the excitement. Head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com.
Crest Insurance is about more than providing coverage. It's about creating your safety net. We offer access to a national network of trusted carriers. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, we're here to help with a personal touch that's close to home. We're deeply invested in our communities, supporting local charities and initiatives that uplift those in need. Crest Insurance. Coverage you can trust. Service you can count on.
Join the team at the largest towing company in the state, All City Towing. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service personnel. Enjoy benefits like the state's most advanced towing equipment, set work schedules, a healthy 401k employer match, health benefits, employer-paid life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Ready to take your career to the next level? Visit us at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is on the move.
Looking for the ultimate spot to catch all the college football action and your chance to win $9,100 every Saturday? Join us at Philly Sports Grill for the Dos Equis Game Day Show, live every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at any of our 4 Valley locations. Each week, up to 20 contestants will have the chance to roll the dice and win $9,100. Plus, be entered to win tickets to the first ever quarterfinal game in Glendale. Plus, enjoy Dos Equis featured each week. Visit fox910gameday.com for details. Philly Sports Grill, the #1 sports bar where the game is always on and the excitement never ends.
Constantly making trips to Home Depot? Introducing Drop, the app that rewards you for every shopping trip. Earn free gift cards for shopping. Download the Drop app now and use code DROP to get $5 in points.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Dukes, because there's only one Dukes. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where? Dukes! Where? Dukes! Miller and McDowell! Scottsdale!
The NFL action is here. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SPORTS to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. That's code SPORTS, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus, Arizona only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/ftball.
Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, live from the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Dive into parlays, futures, and prop bets on all your favorite sports. Catch every moment on one of our 46 stunning 4K screens. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, your sports fans' paradise. It's time for Fact or Phooey with ABC 15 Sports Director Craig Phooey. Phooey joins the guys each Monday to break down the top stories of the weekend. And as a reminder, Manuch writes the questions. Now here's ABC 15's Craig Phooey.
Who is getting ready for Coach Gannon's presser coming up here in a few minutes. So we're going to dive right into Fact or Phooey. All right, Phooey, this was by far the best all-around game for Jonathan Gannon and his staff that he's called in his tenure in Arizona. Fact or Phooey?
Fact. That's an easy one, man. Anytime you can blow out the Rams 41-10 at home, a team you haven't beaten at State Farm Stadium here in Glendale since, 2014? That's a huge win. Sean McVay has owned this team in terms of the Rams versus the Cardinals. And to get that win, a lopsided win like that, and just a resounding win, that's huge.
All right, Coach, question number 2. If the Cardinals can play with this kind of consistency,
Fact, I just asked James Conner that question about an hour or so ago here at Cardinals facility, and just it's like you guys have set the bar really high right now for yourselves in terms of all three phases playing the way they did yesterday. And I'm guessing that anything less than that would be a disappointment. And he just said, we got to do it week after week. We got to stack them. We got to keep going. So I think that's true, and I think this team feels that. But they're trying to just say, you know what? We're looking forward to the Lions now on Sunday. We're looking forward.
All right, number 3, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. connection will become one of the top 5 QB receiver connections in 2024. Fact or phooey?
Fact. I think it's going to become one of the best of all time. I think you're going to remember this one, much like you do the greatest show on grass, in St. Louis on turf, whatever they called it, when Kurt Warner was there with those guys. The Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald connection, Carson Palmer to Larry. I think you're going to remember this one for a long time. They just looked so good yesterday. And again, Marvin Harrison Jr., 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 amazing catches, by the way, in the end zone. Kyler Murray was on fire. I mean, he's the second quarterback in NFL history to have a perfect passer rating, 250-plus passing yards and 50-plus rushing yards in a game. Hasn't happened since 1974 with Ken Anderson.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Can you define perfect passing rating? Because I know he missed 4, so how is it perfect if it wasn't?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Completions?
I'll tell you what. Howard Balzer is here, right? The guy that writes for Cards Wire, and he's been an AP guy, all that stuff. He's got the original book on passer ratings, and he said actually Kyler's passer rating was better than 158.3, but we've come to accept that as the perfect passer rating.
I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, let's switch gears. Baseball with the ABC 15's Craig Fouey. The D-backs will have to rely on their hitting and bullpen if they're going to win 50% of their remaining games to make the playoffs. Fact or Fouey?
Boy, no kidding. They're 2 games up right now, right? In the wild card, they've got the second spot behind the Padres, game and a half back of them. They're 2 games up above the Mets and Braves, and they just have struggled with starting pitching lately. So I think they're going to have to get some hits. They're going to have to play some great defense and hope that somebody comes through on the mound for them, because it's been not what you want to see at this point in the season.
All right, Coach, the last one. The ASU Sun Devils are becoming a legitimate threat to cracking the top 25 with their win over Texas. If they win over Texas Tech this weekend in Lubbock, they got 3 votes this weekend. Fact or phooey?
Yeah, in fact, they did. They got 3 votes this weekend. Isn't that awesome? They got 15, I think, in the coaches poll. So they're looking good. 3-0 start. I can't congratulate Kenny Dillingham enough for what they've done so far. Now, the teams they've beaten, haven't been so great. Texas State was a good challenge for them last Thursday night on the road in a Thursday game. But this week, Texas Tech is a very powerful offense. They're going to come at you. The good news for the Devils, their defense isn't that great. So I think the Sun Devils have a shot, but it's going to be their first Big 12 conference game on the road at Texas Tech. So it's not going to be a cakewalk by any means, but if they can get by Texas Tech, they're a legitimate contender for sure.
And then Coach KU comes in next weekend. So 2 back-to-back toughie. UNLV surprised everybody. Well, I should say surprised, but they upset KU. So these next 2 weekends, if they win, I would think for sure would solidify them in the top 25 if they can win.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to say that they're going to win both games.
Sure.
They look good. They're playing hard. They're playing tough. They're resilient. And Thursday's game was, if you watch that game Thursday night at Texas State, it was not easy for them. And so they had to come back from a 21-7 deficit in the first half to tie it at halftime. They had to fight throughout the game to get that win, but they got it. And I think that's the tenacity that I like that this team is playing with. They're just playing tough and tenacious. So if they can keep doing that, and again, it's going to be interesting. First Big 12 conference game for ASU. It's going to be fun.
Phil, before we let you go, what would you say is the biggest difference between a Kingsbury presser and a Gannon presser?
Not much.
You don't get a lot, do you?
No, there aren't great sound bites. They don't come away with something to go, that's the bite I needed. That's the sound I needed today. But no, it's just kind of like that head coach speak. I miss Bruce Arians, right?
Yeah.
It was the day when, I called him knee deep for a reason. It's not a rivalry with the Seahawks until you beat their ass. That kind of stuff from Arians. So too much coach speak these days for me.
Oh, good stuff as always, Fooey. Thank you, buddy. Have a good presser. Have a good presser.
See you guys. Will do. Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, it's ABC 15's Craig Fooey. Does a great job on Sunday nights, of course, with Mark May. And last night they broke it down pretty much. It was you could tell. I know Mark May listens to the show a lot. He's not a big Cardinal fan. I mean,
Not
if
at
he
all.
can find something negative in that win yesterday, he does.
Well, they totally dissed him with a credential, so you know that
he's got another. He's like, come on,
and
Mark.
He knows a little bit more than the average person about the background of everything going on there.
He's got 2 Super Bowl rings.
But,
does.
you know, the coach speak, it's right. When Bruce Arians came on board, it was refreshing to hear him tell it like it is. And nowadays, these guys are so coiffed and poised and don't want to give anything out. I don't blame them. They don't want to give any bulletin board material, but give us something once in a while. And Rock, what was the soundbite that we had? Was it 2 weeks ago? We counted 15 cliches by Jonathan Gannon before the opening game. I think it was against Buffalo, and he had 15. Okay, so they must have the book.
I'm
of
sure
cliches.
they do. Yep.
But I get it, understand. But I think sometimes it's fans just want to hear a little something.
Well, I like Brian Callahan at Tennessee.
Yes.
I mean, he threw his quarterback under the bus because it was dumb.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
We can't make
it was the same exact thing we did last week.
Yeah.
And it cost us points in the red zone. I mean, I was like, and he goes on and on and on. And he's clearly frustrated. And they got to do something. He's not a good quarterback.
Well, and like Canales, head coach with the Panthers, talking about Bryce Young. He just said we got to move, the Red River, the Red Rifle.
Yep.
Andy Dalton's going to say, and he didn't have any kind words for Bryce Young as well. I mean, he tempered his words, not they're totally from under the bus. He just said, we got to get more improvement. There's some throws that should not have been made for your second-year guy. So some of these coaches, there's a lot of pressure. I mean, Canales a first-year guy.
I get it, but they get paid.
They do. They are.
Make so much money.
Nobody's feeling sorry for the money they're making, but I mean, they want to win, guys. They do not want to just get their one and done and move on like some of these coaches are.
Josh Rosen was not the number 1 pick like who was in Carolina, Bryce Young, but he was the top 10 pick. Was Rosen, in your estimation, a better QB than what they're getting from Bryce Young?
I thought he was. I thought he managed things well. I mean, I think after the 1 year, they gave up on him. They also gave up on the head coach.
Yes, they did.
And that staff, I remember Steve Keim was that picked him.
Yes.
To that. But I thought Josh Rosen had more poise and more about him than Bryce Young. It's kind of
still out on Bryce Young. Come on.
Well, I mean, I think they're giving up on him too soon. If he's your number 1 pick a year ago.
Yeah, but Manuch, you got to sell it to the players in the locker room.
Well,
he's been dreadful.
When you drafted him, what'd you expect?
Well, I understand.
You got a
but
brand
this
new
is
coach.
his second year.
Okay, brand new offensive coordinator, brand new coach, brand new
This
system.
is like a first year for him.
It is. I mean, so I'm going, wait a second. So I'm like, okay, coach, give him at least 3 or 4 games. You're not going anywhere anyway. I mean, you're going nowhere fast. Okay, if that's such a thing, you are. You're going absolutely nowhere fast.
Hey, Philly was brought to you today by Twin Peaks, 5 Valley locations. This week we'll be at the Scottsdale location. A reminder to sign up for our free annual Pro Football Pick'em contest. It's presented by Blue Moon and Coors Light. This year you have a chance to win $5,000 plus weekly Twin Peaks gift cards. Go to fanpick'em.com. Never too late. Never too late to get into Fan Pick'em. Coming up next, Underdogs dominated Week 2. Casey Walsh from the CAZ Sportsbook talks NFL football next here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Feeling like your garage door issues are a real game changer? Don't fumble with overpriced repairs. Get Lifted High Garage Door Repair in your playbook. When it comes to garage doors, don't get sacked by delays or high costs. Lifted High Garage Door Repair swoops in to save the day. Put Lifted High Garage Door Repair on your roster and score big with top-notch service that won't break the bank. Call 480-270-1639. Great prices, quality parts, unmatched service.
Attention drivers, your safety matters. All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing storage services contractor, proudly sponsors the Move Over Law. When you see flashing lights, remember to move over and slow down. Together, we can protect our roadside heroes. Drive safe, Arizona. Sponsored by All City Towing.
Dreaming of a stunning putting green or a perfect lawn? With Tempe Turf Installers, it's a reality, starting at just $550 per square foot. Enjoy peace of mind with up to a 16-year product warranty and a 2-year labor warranty. Our skilled team uses cutting-edge techniques and premium materials for a lush, low-maintenance lawn. Call Mark at 602-348-7190 or visit TempeTurfInstallers.com for your free estimate. Licensed, bonded, insured. Tempe Turf Installers, your trusted source for artificial turf.
Kick off football season with Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light for a season-long fantastic tailgating giveaway. Text PEAKS to 59925 every day for your chance to win the amazing grand prize. A Traeger grill, Blackstone griddle, pizza oven, cornhole set, portable beer pong table, an outdoor projector, inflatable screen, cases of Cocoa 5, a cooler, and Wild Gear tumblers. No purchase necessary. Just text PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. Make this football season unforgettable with Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stings that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Time for the best bets, locks, and daily wager picks, courtesy of the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Now joining the guys is CAZ Sportsbook expert Casey Walsh.
You are live.
Austin. Exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Anything possible!
All right. We are live out here at the CAZ Sportsbook. It's our home for tonight's Falcons-Eagles game. You'll have an opportunity at halftime to win $9,100 and roll the dice. And this weekend, underdogs dominated week 2, as underdogs were 8-5-1 against the spread, 7-7 straight up heading into the Sunday night game, including the Thursday night game. And then that game, we saw what happened last night. 7 underdogs, maybe 8 now, 1 straight up. The largest underdog to win was the Raiders, who took down the Ravens. They were a 9-point road underdog. We should also mention the Bengals covered their 6-point underdog despite losing to the Chiefs. And Casey's Patriots pushed it in overtime. They were a 3-point dog against the Seahawks. So the book did pretty good yesterday, did it?
Pretty good.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Yeah. You can smile, Casey.
He's laughing.
You can smile.
Yeah, I mean, everybody had, Lions, Ravens, and all the teasers, money line parlays, Cowboys money line parlays. Got absolutely demolished.
So I got killed in my parlay because of Cowboys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because I thought that was one that I could put in a lot of. I did like 3. I thought for sure. I mean, come on, you're not losing to New Orleans. It's America's team.
Yeah, right. What was that? The biggest loser for people that wagered was the Cowboys game.
That was a big one, straight bet wise, but Ravens overall and Lions were the biggest because so many people had those in teasers where they just had to win the game. So people just got killed there. Like in the fourth quarter, you could have took the Raiders plus $2,300 live.
Really? Wow.
Casey, are the first 3 or 4 games of an NFL season the most difficult? Then things start to settle down to the underdogs and who's that, and you see things maybe more holistic from that standpoint.
If you're saying you're recreational bettors, I would say yes, it's better for them because they want to see an overall perspective of things.
Because as Rock pointed out, you just don't know the first 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, but when you get to say like your professional sharp bettors, they only like bet in NFL till like week 7.
Then they're done. Then they're done
most of the time. Yeah. Then they'll turn their attention to say a college basketball, because now you're going to have NBA, college basketball, NFL, NCAA football. So college basketball is like the bottom thing that traders can trade because there's so many games.
So Casey, elaborate on that. Why is that? Why would the professional bettors basically clock out halfway through the season? I mean, was it because the early part of the season they have insight that maybe us fans don't have? I mean, why would they do that?
Yeah, they have a lot more information that they get. Like, I mean, Raiders +9 was a huge play for the sharp bettors this weekend. Bengals +6 was a big play for them this weekend. But yeah, a reason why they'll do it is because there's so many games, right? On a college football Saturday, over 100 games.
Right.
Then you got NFL. So the king of everything is the NFL. So the odds makers are going to make everything the sharpest on NFL football. Then they're going to do college football, right? Then you got to worry about NBA, stuff like that. College basketball, you're going to have 140 games on a Saturday, and those lines are going to be off. So that's when they go attack that from like October, November through December.
I do remember last year when we were doing this, we all had some success with conversations we've had with you and just college basketball because the lines were so big and you didn't know some of these teams that these big D1 schools are playing, which there's 325 plus D1 schools in basketball, right? College basketball.
Yes.
So they know a lot more than we would, transfer portal and everything else. So it makes a lot of sense that, okay, you have a good run for 7-8 weeks in the NFL. Is that the same in college football too? They go halfway or they go a little longer, or what would you say?
They'll go a little longer in college football, but when it comes to college football, it's not going to be your major conferences. They're going to attack like the MAC.
Yeah.
They're going to go after
Toledo this week.
That's right. They're going to go after your smaller conferences that most people don't watch. You know, it's still a decent enough market where they can bet into.
Is that because they feel like they get a better number because of those conferences are not looked at as much as the major conferences?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So your odds makers are going to be keyed in on, you know, ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12. So they all concentrate on those.
You talked about the Raiders and the Ravens. Interesting note. Entering yesterday, the Raiders had lost 49 straight games when trailing by 10 points at any point in the fourth quarter.
That's incredible. What a
49 straight games. That is a big stat. All right, we turn our page to this week. The Cardinals line has moved a little bit, 3.5. I think it started. Now it's 3, I believe. Is that what do you have it at here?
We have it at 3 right now.
Okay.
And 51.5.
Is there anything that kind of stood out to you when looking at lines this week? Is there anything that said, wow, that's 7? Well, I would have said maybe that's 5 or the other way.
I mean, if you talk like for this coming week,
yeah.
I mean, the Lions-Cardinals game, there's going to be a little weird. Everybody saw how great the Cardinals were. They're going to want to bet them. I mean, if you go to yesterday's Buccaneers-Lions game, Goff threw the ball 55 times.
Yeah.
They just tried to attack the corners. But they had 7 possessions where they had first down inside the 22-yard line of Tampa Bay. They scored 1 touchdown, 2 field goals, and 2 didn't score at all.
Right.
So they got them by about 250 yards. So the game was a lot more dominated by Detroit than you would think. So that line, I think, would normally be a little higher than it is.
Let me just follow up on that because Aiden Hutchinson is a beast on the Lions defensive line. He had 4 sacks of Baker Mayfield in that game. With the problematic issues of sometimes that offensive line, is that going to be a situation that a bettor would take into consideration that Kyler Murray is going to be running for his life a lot more than what took place against a Rams team that was a mash unit?
Yeah, it'll definitely take into effect certain levels of bettors. You know, like your recreational people that just want to bet for fun aren't really caring too much about what's going on offensive lines, things like that. But other people for sure want to look at matchups like that.
Sun Devils 3-0, taking on Texas Tech. Currently, they are Texas Tech -3. Are you seeing much play on the Sun Devils at all?
We haven't yet this week, but the first 2 weeks we did, and we saw a ton of money on them against Texas State because Texas State actually opened as a 3-point dog, closed as a 3-point favorite.
Yeah.
So it was a 6-point swing there. So everybody hopped on the Sun Devils.
How does that happen? How did it go from that? How did that change things?
So, I mean, all of your normal bettors are going to take, you know, the Arizona State, bigger conference, things like that.
They don't know anything about Texas State.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nobody ever watches it. So that was pretty much a movement by your professional bettors that obviously went against them.
So how much money do you think it takes to move a line? Like a size bet. Like say if
3.
Let's use like a DraftKings.
Yeah.
Does it take like somebody doing a $500,000 bet to move a line? Or it's a lot bigger than that at that level?
So in college football, it's going to it can be 500,000. Most of the time, what it's going to be is NFL is going to be $1 million plus.
Okay,
it's
$1 million
really,
plus.
It's really hard to move lines, say in the NFL.
Okay.
But what happens when you see a lot of these lines move is a lot of these groups, these syndicates, they pick a particular time that they're all going to hit because they don't want to give books a time to adjust. So say you got like a circa and a guy bets $10,000. He's a respected bettor. They'll move the line just off of him.
Wow.
So what'll happen a lot is the syndicates will say, okay, we're going to bet UAB plus 23.5. That was one this weekend.
Yeah.
Plus 23.5. So they'll all bet it at 8:54:57, like 3 seconds before the minute.
Before kickoff, yeah.
And it's before kickoff.
Yeah.
But they just send all the bets in at the same time because now all these sports books are going to get hit for, $1, $2, $3 million. Whereas if one respected person comes and he bets it, just that one person can move it.
So that doesn't give them any chance then to change the line.
To adjust it.
So
for instance, like this week on that Raiders was at 9 most of the week. On Don's Best You Could View, there was a bet made by a respected bettor. He bet 20,000. He moved it a half a point.
Okay.
But when you're talking like the general public, it's got to be like $1 million plus in NFL.
So the Cardinals game ended up -1 before kickoff. Was there a lot of it just they give the Cardinals benefit of the doubt just because as banged up as the Rams were on that? I mean, -1 is rare. You see that. Obviously, maybe if they were -3 because as banged up as they were, they meant -1 because maybe the line didn't trust the Cardinals that could actually win that game.
Yeah, definitely that. I mean, everybody saw the Rams against the Lions.
Right,
Everybody thinks the Lions. So a lot of it's just perception. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of perception that goes into it, what somebody did the week before, and they just go with that.
Casey, thank you as always, buddy.
Absolutely.
Casey Walsh joining us here from Boston here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B as we continue on in the 3 o'clock hour. We will kind of catch up. We're going to go around the NFL, some of the back pages, as well as just some quick recaps on some of the big games, and then we'll catch up with Rudy Carpenter and Frank Sanders. So a busy 3 o'clock hour awaits. You're listening to Roc, Manuch, Jimmy B, and Jax here from the Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona, getting ready for tonight's big matchup between the Falcons and the Eagles.
10.
As game starts about 5:20. So hopefully you'll come out and join us. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
Got a burning urge to pick games each week? Sign up now for Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em, brought to you by Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's totally free to play. Win weekly Twin Peaks fan cards and season-long prizes, including $5,000 cash. Visit fanpick'em.com.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Calling all veterans and first responders that are considering buying or selling a home. The Jason Mitchell Group, the #1 real estate team in the United States, is offering all veterans, along with active duty and first responders, thousands of dollars towards your next home purchase or sale of your home. Hey, it's Jody Ayler, proud to tell you about the exclusive Honor Home Rewards powered by the Jason Mitchell Group, headquartered right here in Phoenix. Honor Home Rewards has helped thousands, in fact, tens of thousands of home buyers and sellers. The goal now is to give $1 million of real estate commission credits back to veterans and first responders through the Honor Home Rewards program. So if you've been thinking about buying or selling your home and you're a veteran, active duty, or first responder, the time is now. Work with one of the top-rated real estate professionals at the Jason Mitchell Group and put thousands of dollars back in your pocket when you close. Check out honorhomerewards.com. That's honorhomerewards.com. HomeRewards.com. Honor Home Rewards, rewarding those that deserve it most.
John Legend here. How do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date with a COVID shot this season?
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Ask your healthcare provider and book at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer. Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the Rappy Law Group Studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
The Mercury beat the Chicago Sky yesterday and begin the final week of the WNBA regular season tomorrow against the LA Sparks. Back to work for the Cardinals. They're moving on from yesterday's win against the Rams. They've got the Lions in week 3. Practice begins Wednesday. The Diamondbacks out of town this week for 7 games, starting tonight against the Rockies. Merrill Kelly on the mound. They remain in the NL's second wild card spot at 83-66. Former Arizona quarterback Nick Foles will retire as a member of the Eagles in tonight's game against the Falcons. Foles guided Philly to a win over the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the low 70s. We could continue to see some breezier conditions. And then for tomorrow, look at this. Daytime high only in the low 90s with sunny skies. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Desert Financial Credit Union.
You shouldn't have to pay to spend your own money. Join Desert Financial and get a free checking account with no monthly service fees. And you get a rewards program that offers a cashback bonus. Visit desertfinancial.com/betterbanking.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, live from the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Dive into parlays, futures, and prop bets on all your favorite sports. Catch every moment on one of our 46 stunning 4K screens. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, your sports fans' paradise.
You know, I asked for improvement from last week, was the story.
Your life?
And we did improve. And their coach cost them. Their head coach cost them this one. So critical error into half, and 100% on me. We improved. There's areas we got to continue to improve on, but it's not okay.
That's Coach Campbell of the Detroit Lions, the Cardinals' next opponent on Sunday, home at State Farm, as they lost to the Buccaneers 20-16. Hutchinson had 4.5 sacks in that one as the Buccaneers outlasted the Lions. Baker Mayfield now 2-0.
Yeah.
2-0. So
Manuch, what is he doing differently? I mean, they threw him out of Cleveland. I mean, the season before, they were 11-5. It was a 16-game season. They went to Pittsburgh, won the game at Pittsburgh in the playoffs, went to Kansas City, came within a whisker of beating the Chiefs in Kansas City. The next season, he gets hurt. It's his throwing shoulder. He tries to play through it, and they kicked him to the curb.
Well, they put people around him, Jimmy. Tampa Bay said this guy's got experience. He's got a lot of reps. Let's put a running game around him. He's got some pretty damn good receivers that he's got, with Godwin and Evans and tight end. They just put people around him. And also the defense was a solid defense in Tampa too, from what they did. So I think that he's got the experience. He just didn't get bad all of a sudden. I just think that they gave up on him way too quick. And you know what? Good for Baker Mayfield. The blessing in disguise for him to go somewhere where they believed in him, where they said, hey, and he basically said, look, just give me a shot. I think he signed a 1-year deal initially on the cheap, to say, let me prove to you. And he did. Now, I want to say something about Dan Campbell. You keep making bad decisions like you did in that NFC Championship game last year.
Good point.
Not going with those 2 field goals. You would have won that game against the San Francisco 49ers. You passed up 6 points, which you would have won that game easily. And you make these kind of mistakes again. Hey, Dan Campbell, we don't care how good you guys looked or were. It's what have you done for me lately? In the Ford family, I can say is those kind of decisions, if they become 4th down gaffes or this blown call or not doing this or not doing that, and all of a sudden you have a team that's very capable of winning it all and you're not, your job will be on the line. I love Dan Campbell. I like what he does, but you can't have those kind of mistakes. It's so hard to win a National Football League. Now they're 0-2. They'll be fine, but that's a big game right there to lose to Tampa Bay.
If it doesn't work out, he's got a good acting career ahead of him.
Yeah, well,
Applebee's commercial is pretty good.
He doesn't want to be acting. He wants to be coaching. He wants to take a team that you cannot. He doesn't have house money, is what I'm saying, to play with.
And they're good enough to win.
Well, they're damn good enough to win, but you can't keep putting your team behind the 8 ball and going, well, we should have won that, Hey, my bad. Okay, that's good once, but 2-3 times, I can commend him for standing up because coaches lose and players win. I get it, but you got to be careful, Dan, that you don't keep putting your team in harm's way and expect them to throw 55 times in a game and expect to win a football game.
So we love talking about the front pages of the newspapers around the country after an NFL Sunday. And for the Arizona Republic, it was Cards fly past the Rams, and it had Harrison Jr. up in the air as one of the players. I couldn't tell what number it was that kind of picked him up after he scored that touchdown. When you look at Green Bay, the Journal Sentinel staying grounded. Packers use run-heavy attack and will a start. Seahawks, the Times, off to a flying start. Pretty good there.
Geno Smith looked pretty good.
The Minnesota Star Tribune, worth a loud shout-out, and that, of course, is Jefferson with a picture of him. In Las Vegas, the Review-Journal, nevermore Raiders, Minshew leave Ravens to ponder what went wrong.
Okay, Manuch, so why did Gardner Minshew have success, particularly in the second half?
Because they started to utilize his talents. The offensive coordinator basically did a good job of recognizing what they were not doing at being Baltimore and kind of nitpicking at him. And he's a good quarterback. He's done some good things.
He's a solid quarterback.
But I think that what they did is that they outcoached him. I think they tried to do what he calls smash mouth defense. They found hot routes. They found quick passing routes. They got the ball out of his hands. And that's the one thing I think when you think of the Raiders, you look at their offense and you look at, oh, wow. How'd this happen? That's exactly how it happened. They didn't allow the defense to dictate what they wanted. By the way,
the Ravens defense
exactly.
Dictate.
By the way, it's Paris Johnson Jr. that lifted up.
Because
they talked about just like at Ohio State, lifting them up.
That's good. Tampa Bay Times, call it 2-0 OH. Wonder if that had to do with Baker Mayfield from Cleveland. What is this? The Chicago Sun-Times, Caleb Crunch.
Ouch.
The
rough day for Caleb.
Yeah, the Boston Herald, just out of reach. Pats fall in overtime. A Newsday, kicking and screaming, and it had the head coach of the Giants on the cover there, Dable. And then what is this? The New York Post, kick in the grass. Dable call on banged up Gannon dooms Giants to brutal loss. Of course, they lost their kicker in that one.
They did.
And then the Daily News in New York, the mark of 0, and that was behind the Braylon's 2 touchdowns.
Yes,
as they top the Titans for their first win.
What'd you think of the performance by one Aaron Rodgers and the Jets?
They're still not in sync.
No, they are.
They
not.
really aren't.
No.
I looked at the numbers are impressive. They won the game.
Yes, that's all that counts.
And I think that when you look at his weapons, they only won by 7 points, but the bad throw, again, you talk about reference to Levis. There's just some throws that they should win that game technically. When you look at it, but I think
the Jets, you mean?
Yeah. Well, and Levis, you had him in the game. Pretty much, if it's not for some of the bad throws he had. But I think that it was just pretty much you go into Nashville, you win the game, you're expected to win the game, and they didn't have. He's not going to have the numbers we were used to seeing him have at Green Bay because he doesn't have that kind of talent around him. Now he'll have good numbers and they'll win because they're around their defense to make big stops, which they did.
But their defense though has been struggling. It hasn't. They've given up big plays, and you're right. Everybody thought that the Jets' defense was going to be stellar this year.
Well, they just scored in the fourth quarter when they had to, the Jets.
They did.
And they made the stops in the fourth quarter when they had to.
Some other games we haven't talked about. Steelers over the Broncos, 13-6. A couple of interceptions by Bo Nix, which was some bad timing on his part. The Sunday night game, Texans and the Bears, 19-13, a defensive battle. That was a big matchup, or at least it was billed as a big matchup with C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams, but it was the Texans and the Bears defense that was what everybody was talking about. As the Houston, they sacked Williams seven times.
Can't run away from those guys like you ran away from college guys.
Another team that's flying under the radar, and I don't think for much longer because the Rams, is the Chargers.
Yes.
Jim Harbaugh, I think I saw something on the morning shows this week. He's won 70% of his games plus, right?
Yeah.
And I know it was Carolina, but it's the first 2-0 start since 2012.
Amazing.
2012 for the Chargers. And J.K. Dobbins. I mean, geez, well, he's a stud.
He went down that left
Give him the ball.
sideline. I think they thought he knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah.
He just went out and then does the flip as
Into the
he's
end
going
zone.
into the end zone.
Yeah, it was great.
You know, you watch Harbaugh on the sideline. I mean, there he is with with Herbert. He's hitting him in the pads and slapping him on the helmet. And are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. And I just love that enthusiasm. He's engaged with his team. Guys love that. They love a coach that's engaged. But see, he went with 2 tight end sets a lot. They're going to pound the football as they should have against Carolina,
right,
and won that game. But I think that you have the building blocks. He'll expand that, but he's going to be conservative with his offense. Then he'll open it up with Herbert because he can do that. But he wants to protect Herbert to make sure he lasts the season so that they give the Chiefs, I think them and the Chiefs, maybe the Raiders, will be the teams that vying for that AFC West.
Why did people think that Harbaugh, there was lots of talking heads that thought, well, he's going to go there, but he's not going to have success in his first year. It's going to take him a while. He won when he was at San Diego. He won at Stanford. He went to the Super Bowl with the 49ers. He won a national championship with Michigan. Why do people not trust him?
Well, I
don't know if
I don't think that's they trust him.
I've never heard that.
I mean,
I always thought it's the opposite where they're hiring a guy that's a proven winner.
Well,
wherever he's gone, he's won.
He's won. I get that, but the talking heads that I saw last week leading up to the game was, well, the jury is still out on the Chargers and Harbaugh. I'm thinking just what you chronicled. He's won everywhere he has been, and yet they still doubt him. And I'm asking you why they would doubt him.
Well, I don't. Here's what I think what they're saying is, well, how can he go in there after that team has faltered? Well, I'll tell you why, because he wasn't going to leave there unless he had buy-in from the management.
Okay.
Number one, buy-in from the owner. Number two, the management to make sure he got the kind of players he wants to be successful. He was successful at USD for San Diego. San Francisco, the York family, and that general manager at the time were bought in. He knows how to win. He knows what it takes. So when he went from Michigan, it took him a few years.
It did, but they got good in a hurry.
They did.
Michigan.
But when he went to the guys, when he had to go to the Chargers, because he said, look, here's what I need. If I'm going to come to you guys and make, 10, 12 million a year, this is what I know is successful. So he got bought in. So I don't think when people when they break down wherever he goes, they're not breaking down what's going on behind the scenes to give him the players.
Okay.
He already had that franchise quarterback. That's the start right there.
I agree with
He's
that.
the start, and they had a decent defense. They had decent receivers. They lost a couple.
They did.
Because the key was, well, you lost all these receivers. How are you going to win? Well, we can run the football. We can throw it a little bit. We got a guy that's a franchise. We can make that. And then you got all these additions in the offseason and free agency that management got after. That's how you win. And he's 2-0.
Real quick, Jags 0-2, first time since Trevor Lawrence rookie year. He's put some good numbers up, but no touchdowns, no interceptions. Matt LaFleur has turned the backup Willis into a starter, and he has never thrown a touchdown in his career. His last start was 2 years ago, and he put him in position to beat the Colts as they pulled off a 16-10 upset at Lambeau to avoid an 0-2
Can I say
start.
something? Why wouldn't the official have called a timeout when that center puked all over that ball?
I have
said,
no
whoa.
idea.
We just, I mean, he got the ball and he couldn't get rid of it quick enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Happened like right when he snapped it.
Yeah, but I mean, not when he snapped it. It
was like a millisecond right before.
Well, at that point when he snapped it, I mean, I get it, but I would have just at that point just downed it. I just got it and downed it. No play whatsoever. That's a first to see that.
That was a first.
We're going to talk about Kyler Murray next, as well as the win for the Sun Devils as Rudy Carpenter joins us, and then it's Frank Sanders, who went a little viral this morning on Instagram, so we'll talk about that as well. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Casino Arizona and the Sportsbook.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
So far, a decent ride on Valley freeways. No wrecks, no delays to report. Now, in the East Valley, a bad crash has closed the intersection of Dobson and Cubs Way. That's Dobson Road closed just north of the Rio Salado Parkway. And I'm seeing a wreck 23rd Avenue in Deer Valley.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell is introducing the new Cantina Chicken Menu with new Cantina Chicken Burrito, Quesadilla, Bowl, and Tacos, featuring their new slow-roasted chicken. Try the new Cantina Chicken Menu today at participating U.S. Taco Bell locations while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Looking for the ultimate spot to watch football with fellow Ohioans in Phoenix? It's Upper Crust Pizza and Wine Bar. Enjoy great pizza, cold drinks, and cheer them on all season long at Upper Crust. Located at the 101 and Cave Creek Road.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Envision a stunning putting green or a flawless lawn. With Tempe Turf installers, it's yours for just $550 per square foot. Enjoy up to a 16-year warranty and 2 years of labor coverage. Call Mark at 602-348-7190 or visit TempeTurfInstallers.com for your free estimate.
Year after year, Lerner Rowe is voted best personal injury law firm in Arizona. You may wonder why. The answer is quite simple. Lerner Rowe is so popular because we give every client excellent service and a superior experience. But also the main reason is results. We've recovered billions of dollars for our clients with over $1 billion collected in the last 5 years alone. Our phone lines are always open and our legal team is standing by right now, waiting for your call.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
The Mercury got the win over the Chicago Sky yesterday and begin the final week of the WNBA regular season tomorrow against the LA Sparks. It's back to work for the Cardinals, who are moving on from yesterday's win against the Rams to focus on the Lions for Week 3. The Panthers are benching quarterback Bryce Young for veteran Andy Dalton in their Week 3 game with the Raiders. Young has a 44.1 passer rating over the first 2 games. I'm Frank Aaron.
The NFL action is here. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SPORTS to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. That's code SPORTS, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus. Arizona only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/ftball.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, live from the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Dive into parlays, futures, and prop bets on all your favorite sports. Catch every moment on one of our 46 stunning 4K screens. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, your sports fans' paradise. Here to talk football is former Sun Devil quarterback, who, by the way, went 3-1 against that team in Tucson.
Carpenter going to go up with time, steps up, looks end zone, got a man, McGahee, touchdown! And Rudy Carpenter threw that right into the teeth, into the strength of the Wildcat defense.
Rudy Carpenter, now on Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910 on FM at 99.
For Arkansas football over the years. Here's Murray, climbing the pocket, getting away. He's got some space. Ooh, nearly took a huge hit from Cam Curl. Ducked down to the 32-yard line, a 27-yard.
That was Kyler Murray, scramble in the third quarter for a first down when the score was 24-3, thanks to Fox. Rudy Carpenter now on the right to a guest line. So, what you think? Give us your take, Rudy, on Kyler and his performance yesterday. Near perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest with you, I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Probably the only way to describe it. I'm happy for Kyler because a lot of people, including myself, have, maybe been down on him a little bit or have maybe questioned, how good he really is. I mean, I think for me, I've more questioned how good this roster really is. But I think yesterday Kyler showed that he's when he's on and when he plays like that, he's a top 5, top 10 player in the NFL. And there's a reason why a couple of years ago, the first half of the season, he was the leading candidate for the MVP award, right? So Kyler has shown us, the fan base here in Arizona, that, when he's playing and playing well, he's one of the very best young players in the NFL.
Rudy, one of the things that stood out for me watching him yesterday, and we always preach about when the quarterbacks move, keep your eyes up, try to find somebody down the field before you run. That's hard for a guy like a Kyler Murray, somebody's got a lot of talent. It took Michael Vick a while. I don't know if he ever actually got it. But the throws, keeping his eyes up the field, on the bootleg, eyes up the field to Harrison for the 1 touchdown. But the one thing that kind of showed me he's really growing at the position was the scramble. He scrambled left, scramble drill. Harrison was coming back to the outside. Then he went back up the field, recognized the scramble drill, and he saw him, that being Murray, throw the ball down the field instead of taking off down the left sideline.
Well, I mean, yeah, in my viewpoint, I've always actually felt like Kyler's done a good job of keeping his eyes up and trying to make throws while scrambling or while running around. I mean, what I would call it is remaining a passer. I think that Kyler throughout his career, even in college, has always done a good job of remaining a passer while he's moving around and running around. Where I personally think that he's struggled throughout his career is when he's running around or when he's scrambling and he's trying to make a play, is his ability that, like, he just never gives up on a play. And because of that, he's reluctant to throw the ball away. He's reluctant just to get what he can and get down. And because he's trying to play hero ball on every single play, a lot of times he ends up taking negative plays and he ends up taking big, big losses on negative plays. And that puts you, behind the chains and in really bad situations. And I think, the last couple of years, he's been, honestly really bad at that. I think so far this season, he's shown that he's, done a better job of making good decisions with the football in his hands, knowing when to throw the ball away, knowing when to get down, knowing when the play is probably over, and just, living to fight another day. I think, that in his maturation in that process is, number one, I think it's, self-preserving. He's not going to take as many hits, but I also think that every offseason he's probably gone back and done an off-season study and realized, like, man, took this sack when I didn't need to, took this sack when I didn't need to, didn't throw the ball away here when I should have, knocked us out of field goal range. And I'm sure the coaching staff has really helped him when doing those self-scouts and self-evaluations.
And when you watch Marvin Harrison Jr., Rudy, you've worked with a lot of receivers, your quarterbacks. What do you see in this young man? I mean, the hands, the routes, all the above. But in particular, what are you seeing that maybe the average fan's probably not seeing?
Well, I think all of it, right? I mean, they call him Maserati Marv. I mean, look, he's got freakish abilities. He can run, he can jump. He does great in 50-50 situations. He's tall. I mean, he's like, in my viewpoint, a unicorn when it comes to a wide receiver, which is why he was picked where he was picked. But I think the thing that separates him is just the fact that grew up in a household with a Hall of Fame dad. Yeah. Not only was his dad a great player and a great wide receiver, but his dad was very smart. His dad played with one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL ever, and Peyton Manning. And so I just think all of the things that he's learned while growing up in his career from his dad, as far as route running and recognizing coverage and be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, just all of those little things, the nuance of the position that most rookies, I think, take a long time to get. He comes into the league already understanding a lot of that. And so, you know, and I also think too, just his accountability and the fact that in my viewpoint so far, he doesn't seem like a huge prima donna. I mean, you heard him talk yesterday, like, man, I really hate that Kyler's, you know, only 4 incompletions were balls that were thrown to me, you know, which just shows you his competitiveness and expectation that, you know, he believes he should catch the ball every single time it's thrown to him. So I don't know. For me, I just think that he's a really good player, and I think so far has done a really good job of, you know, keeping the noise, you know, around him at bay.
Rudy Carpenter is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Rudy, I get the by fans right now that they just destroyed a MASH unit, which was disguised as the Los Angeles Rams, and rightfully so. That's exactly what you should do to a team that has lost half of their personnel. So does the real test come next week when they play against a team that defensively should be able to put a lot more pressure on Kyler Murray? Will we get a much better read on the Cardinals next week?
Well, I mean, probably. I mean, at the end of the day, though, they can only play the teams that are on their schedule, right? And in the first week, they played who was on their schedule in the Buffalo Bills. Yesterday, they played who was on their schedule in the Los Angeles Rams, and that's just who was on their schedule. You know, I think the Bills are obviously a very good football team. We saw, you know, what the Cardinals did on the road against them in week 1. They come back against a team with a lot of injuries in the Rams. To answer your question, yeah, we'll probably get a better read when they're playing the team that they're going to play next week. We'll probably get a better read. But at the end of the day, this is the NFL. All of these teams in the NFL have good players. You know, in my viewpoint so far, I think this team has actually played better, in my viewpoint, than what their roster and what their talent level is. I think the Bills are going to be a very good football team this year. They played them hard. They played them well. They beat the Rams yesterday. I get the circumstances, but you know, yeah, me personally, I try to reserve judgment on football teams, whether it's college or the NFL, until, you know, week 4, week 5, because then you really, really know who these teams are.
Real quick, Rudy, how about those Devils? 3-0. You got to be happy about that. They came back from a big deficit the other night, and they're really showing a lot of character.
Not only that, but I mean, you know, I think people hear Arizona State versus Texas State, and they just assume that that's a football game Arizona State should win just based on the name recognition. Mm-hmm. People don't realize that Texas State is a very, 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 very good football program. In my viewpoint, they have one of the best young coaches in college football, in DJ King. He's done a great job. But I think more so, you know, Kenny Dillingham has done a great job with this football team and coaching this football team. And I think Kenny's got this team trending in the right direction. And I think the fan base should be happy about Kenny. I just think that Kenny does a good job coaching the team, motivating the team, getting on the team. But I also think he does a good job just in the media and how he interacts with the fan base, interacts with the media, and how he does things his own way. I think it's been refreshing for the program.
No question. Rudy, thanks for the time as always on a Monday. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.
See you guys.
That's Rudy Carpenter joining us. Brought to you by All City Towing. Join the team at the largest towing company in the state. That's All City Towing. They're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, customer service. It's all there. Great benefits, healthy 401k employer match, great employer paid life insurance, monthly fuel allowance. So if you're ready to take your career to the next level, visit them online at allcitytowing.com. That's All City Towing, where your future is on the move. We'll continue next with more Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Casino, Arizona. Get ready for tonight's Falcons-Eagles Monday Night Affair.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
For U of A quarterback Nick Foles will retire as a member of the Eagles in tonight's game against the Falcons. He guided Philadelphia to a win over the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. The Mercury beat the Chicago Sky yesterday and begin the final week of the WNBA regular season tomorrow when they take on the LA Sparks. It's back to work for the Cardinals, who are moving on from yesterday's win against the Rams to focus on the Lions for Week 3. Practice begins Wednesday. The Diamondbacks option catcher Adrian Del Castillo to AAA Reno and recalled pitcher Scott McGuff from Reno ahead of tonight's game against the Rockies. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the low 70s. We could continue to see some breezier conditions. And then for tomorrow, look at this. Daytime high only in the low 90s with sunny skies. For the Fox 10 Weather Experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
In the fast lane of life, your fuel should keep up. Time to check out G2G protein bars, your ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether it's a workday, gym session, or navigating daily chaos, G2G has got you covered. Find them now at your local Costco in the refrigerated section, or explore all 8 fantastic flavors at G2GBar.com. Great tasting and packed with protein, so keep pace with life in the fast lane with G2G protein bars.
Attention Nebraska and Arizona fans. Catch every thrilling game at Arena Sports Grill, your official watch party destination. Enjoy great food, drinks, and the ultimate game day atmosphere with fellow fans. Don't miss a single play. Arena Sports Grill in Scottsdale.
Over the years, Lerner Rowe has helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. What does that mean to you when you're looking for an attorney to handle your personal injury case? That means that Lerner Rowe is a law firm that not only has experience, but the proven results to recover money for your injuries. The insurance companies know which attorneys won't put up a fight. When you call us, we call them, and they know they have to pay.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Don't miss a minute of the action when Sun Devil football returns to Mountain America Stadium Saturday, October 5th, when they take on Big 12 rival Kansas.
Svoboda throws, intercepted by Fiaseu. Cyrus Fiaseu is going to take it all the way in for an Arizona State touchdown. A pick six for San Diego State transfer Cyrus Fiaseu.
Get your tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Sarah Spain for iHeart Women's Sports, presented by Elf Beauty. On Sunday, the Indiana Fever's Caitlin Clark set the WNBA rookie season scoring record, previously held by Simone Augustus. Clark has 761 points and counting through 39 games with 1 to play, while Augustus set her record of 744 points back in 2006 when the season was just 34 games. Her 21.9 points are still the rookie record for scoring average. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts.
When it comes to women in sports, Elf Beauty is all about leveling the playing field. The same goes for the boardroom, where Elf is one of only 4 publicly traded U.S. companies with a board that's 2/3 women and 1/3 diverse. Learn more at elfbeauty.com.
Now back to Roc and Manuch.
Hello,
with
guys.
JB, live from the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Dive into parlays.
Just on time. Frank is ready.
Bets on all your favorite sports. Catch every moment on one of our 46 stunning 4K screens. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, your sports fans' paradise. He played 8 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals. The Sandman.
It is caught, touchdown, Auburn! Auburn! Sanders got it! Touchdown, Auburn! Touchdown, Auburn!
Frank Sanders joins Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch, now on Fox Sports 910.
Was hurt for the first half last season. Back to goal.
Your life?
End zone. Harrison! Caught! First NFL touchdown for Marvin Harrison Jr. An impressive grab. Courtesy of Fox, and joining us now, as you just heard, the big voice guy, Frank Sanders. So, Frank, it's pretty safe to say Marvin Harrison Jr. won't be a first-round bust, right? Pretty safe to say?
It's definitely pretty safe to say for the one-game performance that he put on the other day, which was absolutely, number one, unexpected, but hoped that we would see that in him and Kyler would connect. And we absolutely got what we were desiring. And I'm pretty sure to say he won't be a first-round bust after yesterday's performance.
So all three phases yesterday were just clicking. Who do you attribute the success to?
You know what? We have never dominated that coaching staff at all in the last 5 or 6 years. And I've just got to say, man, the way the coaches put together the game plan, the players went out and played. But I just got to give it to the coaching staff because we know for a fact that the Rams have come in here and dominated coaching-wise. It has always looked like they dominated us on offense, defense. They had a better game plan than us. They executed the game plan better than our team in the past. But when you look at yesterday's game performance, offensively and defensively, as well as special teams, our guys were well coached, man, and they went out and made plays.
Yeah, Frank, that was one of my Factor Fooey questions, and this might have been the best game plan from start to finish. And to your point, you said 6 years. I agree. I know in the Jonathan Gannon era here it is, but I mean from start to finish, physicality, the finesse, the throwing. I mean, just the play calling itself on both sides of the ball was bar none.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, we asked for this last week, but we didn't see many adjustments, and then we come out this week and we see Marvin Harrison's in motion. He's zipping, zanging, he's ramming and ringing. These are terms used to put people in motion. And he's absolutely moving moving from left to right. Defensively, this team went out and shut this offense down. Just a little bit over 100 yards passing in the offense, 4 quarters, and 53 yards rushing. The defense showed up big, got the ball back to the offense. But when you look at the offensive side, guys went out and made plays, man. And that in itself says what we've been hoping for. Not just the big play name, but the big play performance. And a lot of guys went out and made some big plays.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is, we talk about the passing game. Obviously, I think that they really focused on James Conner setting the tone, 21 carries, 122 yards, which I think really helped with the play action. But the one area we talked about, you had 8 catches from the receiving core, and you had 7 from the tight ends and a couple to the running backs. I thought that the balance in the passing game, but taking the shots down the field, having the bootleg of the waggle going down the field seemed to be stretching the field more often. I got to tell you, Drew Petzing must have been listening to Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B last week as far as what he needs to do on offense, I'd imagine.
I'm glad he got his dial tone to the right station because some of those other guys don't talk like you guys talk. And you don't point out those things. So I just want to let you guys know you're absolutely the best armchair quarterbacks that's out here in the league right now. I know that for a fact.
Very good. Very good.
All right, Frank, let me follow up then since we are armchair quarterbacks. I'll ask an armchair quarterback question then. And that is, I know that you play the Rams. They're on your schedule, and they have to come in here with the guys that were healthy. But they are the most physically injured team of anybody in the National Football League. I mean, they were playing with a left tackle who just got off the couch like 2 days beforehand. So I loved what the Cardinals did. They jumped on them right from the get-go, and they kept doing it, which is what you're supposed to do. But are we overreacting to how great the Cardinals were because of how bad the Rams were with all of their injuries?
Jimmy B, we gave every Rams football player some tissue when they walked out of the stadium just this other day. The best they're going to get from us, brother, is some tissue with this butt kicking that we served up on them. Nothing we can do about that. We've been in the same boat. We've been on the same situation with the same team.
Yep.
And look, when you go out and perform, you know what it is. On Sundays, you still got to show up and you got to play. We've been with the Cardinals are no stranger to showing up to a Sunday's game or a Thursday night game without a full roster. But the guys, like when you look at our team, we went out and made plays. Kyler danced like Kyler should dance. He danced all over the football field and made plays to guys. And again, they were not short on the defensive line. They put a lot of pressure on Kyler. Our offensive line, for your boy JC to go out and tote that thing for 122, you got to be very physical, man. And they make that game physical. You're absolutely right, Manuch, when you talk about how many people caught balls. That was a balanced offense performance. But Jimmy B, you get no tears from me for those Rams. I hope they sick, and I hope guys are not playing well the next time.
I'm
so
not
we
making excuses.
can go out and,
I agree with you, Frank. You got to dance with the girl that brung you. I know that. I'm excited about what we saw. I'm just trying to temper it a little bit until they play Detroit.
And I understand what Jimmy's saying. I mean, the Cardinals came out, took care of business, right,
Yes,
Frank? They're down. They did what they're supposed to do, right? And I think folks are, okay, let's just pump the brakes a little bit. That's an injured team. But to your point, hey, they came out and they performed like they would. Now, the real litmus test will be the Detroit Lions coming into town this week, who aren't banged up. They're hitting on, even though they're 1-1. Here's a team that pretty much knows what they need to do. So is the true litmus test this week coming up? And does this team have that kind of physicality, that being the Cardinals, and energy to match that?
Look, so every week in the NFL, you just never know what you're going to get when it comes to your opponent. You know the names that's across the way. You know what the game plan potentially will be. But it's the guys that's got to go on the football field and make things happen. And you're hoping that these guys will put together another good game plan versus the Detroit Lions. And I agree with you guys. You want to get too hyped, but you got to get hyped. You saw what you wanted to see. You saw your guys go out and make some plays. No one expects us to put up 41 points versus the Rams at all. I don't care who was out there on the football field, because we haven't seen our team do that at all. We haven't seen this team really go out and make plays like they did, or guys go out and we run the football like we did. So the Detroit Lions will be a great test for us, but we know our schedule right now. We saw this at the preseason, that our schedule is tough. There is no team, no name on that schedule that's a cakewalk at all. Even if we look at the Chicago Bears, they got a great defense with some stars on their team, young quarterback, but it doesn't matter. There is no team on our schedule that looks like a team that we can take for granted. I don't think the Cardinals are going to do about that and said it consistently, that this coaching staff coaches 4 quarters of football. And that's a beautiful thing to see, because we know what the previous regime was like, and they didn't do that. But now the guys are healthy. We got some playmakers on offense and defense. And hopefully this is something that these guys take, that they can be, a team to be reckoned with in this 2024 season.
Are you okay that your Cowboys got blown out yesterday?
Hey, you know what I'm more excited about, Rock? Look, my Auburn Tigers went up against this gauntlet of team called the New Mexico State, and we got a big fat win, brother. You 45-10, Auburn Tigers smashed New Mexico State. Guess what? Just like Jimmy B said, you got to dance with the girl that you brought to the party. They showed up, and man, we boot scoop boogied off the field.
But
45-10.
But but you got to know her name, because it was New Mexico, not New Mexico
The
State.
Lobos.
And the score was 45-19. Yeah. Don't give that. You said 45-10. So you got to know who you're taking to the date, to the prom.
The Lobos, not the Aggies.
She had makeup on. She had makeup on when she first got there. She took the makeup off and got 19. I didn't know that.
Well, we'll see what happens in Arkansas this week. So anyway,
I know.
Anyway, listen to the schedule. Auburn's got Arkansas, then they got Oklahoma, then they're at Georgia, and then they are at Missouri. They got a tough run here. That's the SEC.
Frank, are you insinuating that at Auburn it's tough to put lipstick on that pig? Is that what you're insinuating right there, bud?
You just wiped off my smile with that gauntlet you just gave me.
We love you, buddy. Have a good week, boss.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Love you guys.
That's Frank Sanders. Follow him on Twitter. He was active today on Twitter at Frank Sanders 81. We'll tell you what's on tap. You got some D-backs and Rockies. You got a big game in Philadelphia, so we'll get into all that next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
There is an accident that is closed an off-ramp, 101 Pima Freeway, southbound off-ramp to Indian Bend Road. Stop traffic from Shea Boulevard. 202 Santan Freeway eastbound off-ramp. This is the Elma School Road. We have an accident sitting off right.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals utilize their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Life's a sprint, and you need a quick pick-me-up. Meet G2G Protein Bars, the ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether you're hustling in the office, enjoying a day on the links, or conquering the daily grind, G2G is your perfect fuel. Score an 8-pack at your local Costco's refrigerated section, or explore amazing flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, and power-packed. G2G Protein Bars, setting the pace for your energetic lifestyle.
Envision a stunning putting green or a flawless lawn. With Tempe Turf installers, it's yours for just $550 per square foot. Enjoy up to a 16-year warranty and 2 years of labor coverage. Call Mark at 602-348-7190 or visit TempeTurfInstallers.com for your free estimate.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Kick off football season with Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light for a season-long fantastic tailgating giveaway. Text PEAKS to 59925 every day for your chance to win the amazing grand prize. A Traeger grill, Blackstone griddle, pizza oven, cornhole set, portable beer pong table, an outdoor projector, inflatable screen, cases of Cocoa 5, a cooler, and Wild Gear tumblers. No purchase necessary. Just text PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. Make this football season unforgettable with Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light.
Wow, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Macy's is here to help you shift seasons in style. Shop fall wardrobe must-haves like matching knit sets and dresses, quilted jackets and puffers for her, and vintage-inspired sweaters he'll love. And Macy's has great deals on home essentials like cozy blankets and throws and modern kitchen appliances. Plus, Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. Learn more at Macy's.com/Star Rewards. Today at Macy's.
Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, live from the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Dive into parlays, futures, and prop bets on all your favorite sports. Catch every moment on one of our 46 stunning 4K screens. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar, your sports fans' paradise. It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all. Call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
Fake to Connor. Murray on the rollout. Look at
your life.
Marvin Harrison Jr. to the end zone. Touchdown again.
How about that? Marvin Harrison with a 60-yard touchdown reception, the second of the game. And that put the Cardinals up 14-0. Of course, they went on to blow out the Rams. Detroit is up next. Should be a lot of fun. In a wreck, need a check, make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerroad.com. And tonight, it's the Falcons and the Eagles. Currently, Eagles minus 5.5.
That's what I thought.
That game will be 5:15 on ESPN. I'm glad to see that ESPN and Disney and everyone else figured out.
Me too.
Because a lot of people were a little upset, those that had DirecTV, and it felt it wasn't good for business for a lot of the sports bars out there. So I'm glad that got fixed.
So are you going to change shirts? That's the big story
Yeah,
here.
I am.
You are.
Yep.
All right, folks, he's got on
And a
an
hat.
Eagles shirt
Yep.
And it's the colors that the Eagles use right now.
Yep.
It is green and white, but Rock doesn't like the color green.
No.
So what are you going to change into?
I got an old school Philadelphia Eagles logo green shirt, my lucky shirt.
My lucky shirt.
My old lucky shirt was a Donovan McNabb jersey.
Okay.
And I started losing my ass on that, so I don't wear it anymore.
But where did you win? What did you wear when we did the Super Bowl and they beat the Patriots? What shirt was it? Your Donovan McNabb jersey with the color? What'd you wear?
Yeah, I did that one with the mask.
With the mask.
With the football or the dog mask.
The dog mask. That was it. I mean,
but I've lost more than I've won with the Donovan McNabb jersey, so I kind of retired that. But I got a new Randall Cunningham jersey, old school with the old colors.
Yes.
That I just realized that I should have brought out tonight, and I did not. I'm not that guy that wears the jersey.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I only time I ever wear them is as a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's only been twice. So I just can't do that. Like it's annoying to me to see guys at the sports bar wearing their jerseys of teams that aren't even playing that day.
Well,
it's like tonight there'll be there'll be a couple Packer guys in here.
Yeah.
Wearing their jerseys.
I just passed the
And
guy
it's
in
like,
the
come
casino.
on.
He had a Rams jersey on. He had Aaron Donald's jersey.
Yeah,
on.
they could use him.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of frustrating because I got all this gear. I did order. If you're online, and I know Jax is, if it shows up in his algorithm for TikTok or Instagram, what's a big run right now is logoed sneakers, team gear for college and for NFL.
Okay.
And I got these pretty sweet.
Oh, look at Rock.
They're coming. They're on their way.
It's
gonna take a while because it's come from China, I think. But they were on sale. But they look good. At least they say they're Nike.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're the swoop. It could be going the other way, but we'll find out.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, folks, let's get to our State for Your Future Call
Whoa,
question
whoa,
today.
whoa! We're not done.
Oh, I was
Diamondbacks tonight and
Okay.
Rockies.
I'm sorry.
5:40 from Colorado on MLB or Channel 34. So.
Are we done now?
Yeah, I think so.
All
You're
right.
the one who asked the question about what I was wearing.
I did. I wanted to know, Mr. Philadelphia.
Not that you're
Eagles
superstitious or anything, Rock.
Yeah,
Oh, I am
yeah.
so super.
You're
You
so
are.
superstitious.
I'm the
You
worst.
are.
You are. All right, now it's time for our State for Your Future. It's your call question of the day. You go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter to vote. After the Cardinals 41-10 win over the Rams, they can now be considered a legitimate threat to win the NFC West. You can answer yes, impressive versus the Rams, or no, Rams are banged up. Still early to tell. So currently right now, yes, impressive versus the Rams, 46.7%. Second is still early to tell, which I voted.
Me too.
40%. And then no, Rams were banged up, 13.3%. So again, go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter.
So for the past 20 plus years, 24 maybe to be exact, we've been hosting Monday Night Football here at Casino, Arizona. There were a bunch of promos on our station last week and some live reads that we did that we were going to be a talking stick. We made a last minute change. So I hope any of the people driving around there are going to come join us today for the 5:15 start. You come to Casino, Arizona. You can still go to Talking Stick, but we won't be there. And you won't have a chance to win $9,100 because at halftime, 20 lucky contestants are going to be able to roll the dice, the jumbo dice. We have 6 of them. There's 6 dice that you roll. And if you roll Fox 910, you win $9,100. If you roll the Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B caricature logo on the 6th die, you will win a big screen TV, maximum size 85.
That's great stuff. I
Thanks.
can tell you, and I'll recap quickly. Jackson and I did the college football show Saturday at Phillies in Ahwatukee.
What is that show called? What is that show called?
It's called the football show.
No, it's really not.
You don't remember what it was called?
Have a proper name, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's like how long you want to get paid to do this?
I remember the old one, but that's not the name of
The
it.
Dos Equis Game Day Show.
That's what I said. The college football
No, it's not
show.
what you said.
So we were
There
there.
goes the moonwalk again.
So
there.
we were there.
Pinocchio.
and-
Yeah, how did that go, by the way? Is that the first time you hosted a 2-hour show with him?
Oh,
Just
no,
him?
we've done one. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did a Roc and Manuch in the summer sometime.
Well,
When
no
you
one
guys
listens
couldn't
in
do
the
one.
summer. So, but this is prime time on location at Phillies. Because, by the way, there's 4 Phillies in the Valley.
There are.
And Dos Equis is stepped up, big partnership. And they're doing the die contest, too.
Yeah. No,
But they're doing other stuff, too. Like if you roll Phillies, you roll Fox Sports, all kinds of stuff you can win. So that's cool. But you did all right, Jimmy?
He just kind of
Who drove? I
Jax?
drove. Oh, good.
Yeah, it's his show. I just showed up and I was just kind of in the passenger seat. I answered a question like once every 18 to 20 minutes, and that was good.
So was you sure you didn't do the show at Bauer? I mean, you got a word in.
I got one word in.
So that show, by the way,
Yes.
on Saturdays,
Yes.
11 to 1 is with Jax, Ben, and Bauer.
And it's fun.
Brand new show, a college football show on location, thanks to Dos Equis.
Yeah.
Hey,
We
guys-
had a lot of time. I was just going to say, we had two people that rolled the dice, and both of those people had 3 Fox Sports 910s
It's
pop
tough.
up.
That's
It
why
is
it's $9,100,
Yeah.
but it can
be done.
We hope it gets.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. That's for sure. Tomorrow, we got our guest will be Kyle Vandenbosch to talk about this Cardinals victory. ASU sideline reporter Kevin Turner, the Devils 3-0 with Texas Tech. And then the Arizona Public Sports columnist Bob McManaman will join us mañana.
I got to give Arizona State a lot of credit for them to come back on the road. It was a pretty good crowd there at Texas State. And for them to pull that off, being down, 21? Is that what it was?
21-7.
14. Yeah. That was hats off to them. And, I would really like to see them kind of go on a run here. I think they're going to have a little tough time. Texas Tech this week, 12:30 start. So they're heading back to the Lone Star State. They're 4-2. They're past 6 games dating back to last season. So this is ASU's first 3-0 start since 2019.
Let me ask you guys this. How long did the clock, you had 2 seconds. You saw Levitt back up with it. There's just 2 seconds. How does the clock not run out when he's backing up waiting? He has a knee. I mean, I got to tell you what, Coach G had a blew a gasket.
He did. I would too.
It was at that, I don't know, the UFCU stadium there.
Yeah,
Talk to
Texas
people working
State.
there. Yeah.
I mean, excuse me. They gave him a second. I'm like, are you kidding me? He backed up with the center snap, 1,001, 1,002, took a knee, and there was 1 second on the clock. How does that happen?
Well,
Hey, let's
people
look
aren't
at-
too smart in Texas.
And for Kenny, second year, he's a starting quarterback who's one of 60 newcomers on the squad. 60. And I know a lot of teams have that where there's been a lot of change, but in Mississippi State, it's unfortunate that they got blown out by Toledo last weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, destroyed. And that may have something to do with the polls.
Sure,
I know they got 3 votes, but we'll see what happens this week as Mississippi State has Florida.
Didn't the
and
college
Florida's
coaches
struggling.
give him 18 votes?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, gave
Coaches
coaches gave him 18.
What do they do? You really think the coaches are voting?
No.
Hell no.
It's
No,
the SID.
Hell
Yeah,
to the
it is.
20.
It is the SID.
Somebody was watching those Sun Devils.
See you back here tomorrow. We'll be in studio tomorrow. Thanks to Casino Arizona. Come on down, watch
10.
the Eagles just kind of blow out the Falcons.